square. Everett down there as well. In fact, they've bunched 4 players in the square, the Saints, as we get underway from Colonial. And Gardner really gave them first use, Cousins. But getting back to take it, McLaren. And the Saints up to the wing. Young playing a lot further up the ground than you'd expect. He's outpointed straight away by McKenna. Gehrig. As the Eagles move into attack, Cousins another possession. Did he keep it in? He did. Gehrig sets it up. Cummings got in good position. Wakeland pushed and shoved and was successful and got away. And his kick was pretty good in the end. And the Saints get it up to the wing, and Harvey takes the mark. And out wide. It wasn't a bad kick. Rapunda couldn't take it. It must have been some interference, and the downfield free will go the way of Davis, who we saw last week, Robbo, make his debut and look pretty impressive.
Yes, he did, and let's hope he can follow on from that. It's going to be a free kick to the Eagles, though. And the players did look very confused because the umpire in that area of the ground was indicating with his left arm as if it was going to the Saints. But it's gone the opposite direction, and the kick lands in the area of Carr. In there is Delaney. Number 19 is Gardner. Leaves it for Rintoul. Rintoul kicks it quickly to half forward. Coming out to meet the ball was Nathan Burke. Didn't he do well? Didn't he do well, Nathan Burke? He burst his way through, leading from the front. Harvey couldn't take it. The ball spills now for Jakovic, but the free kick is with Morrison. The advantage is paid. Away goes Jakovic. Puts that St Kilda last line of defence under pressure. Good long kick. Philip Batira grabbed by the leg. Delaney. In goes Wakeland. They're under siege back there. The kick across the front of the goal. Taken by Nathan Burke. St Kilda will run it out. No, he's going to get run down. He threw the ball as well. What did you think, John?
Free kick.
Oh, yeah, no
advantage.
doubt.
Advantage. Morrison goes in and gets the goal. Sorry, John, but the advantage there, the umpire picked it up and could see that it was going to be a real opportunity for the West Coast. He called that, and Morrison has kicked the first goal of the game.
Yeah, well, that's going to be an exciting contest. Nathan Burke on Philip Matera. And we see Burke's strength is running the ball out of the back line. Phil Matera, he is a great tackler, and he's got that excellent leg speed. He worked very hard to run Burke down that time. Burke had got away and already dealt the ball out once. Phil Matera made sure he wasn't going to do it again, and the turnover gave the Eagles a goal. That will be a contest to watch.
So first blood to the Eagles, but the Saints going forward, and they're important players, aren't they? Harvey has the kick, not bad in front of Everett, but it wasn't perfect. And he might get a free, might play on with the advantage and kick a goal.
That's Rover stuff.
So continues on from last week, John.
Yeah, well, we've just seen some exciting football this early part of the season. Goals coming left, right and centre, and again a free kick against McIntosh. The umpires are looking to reward the full forwards if they are getting held, and there's no doubt McIntosh just had a hold of Everett because he was out of position, but the big spider recovered very well anyway and was going to slot it through. He's going to be a real danger for the West Coast tonight.
Gee, he did that well, Peter Everett, didn't he?
Well, we made the point last week, Robbo. If you get the ball out of the middle, straight down the ground here at Colonial, you can score heavily. Well,
they did just that. It was a terrific clearance from that last centre bounce. McLaren kicks it in front of himself and Morrison, and the umpire will throw it in right half forward for St Kilda. A goal apiece. Peter Everett for St Kilda and Chad Morrison for the Eagles. Not a bad crowd in, and a pretty good evening. You've already referred to that, Anthony. Current temperature 22, just a little cooler as the night wears on. Cousins gets the ball to Bellotti, in turn to McKenna. McKenna striding through the centre of the ground. He has a good look down the field and then kicks it wide. Not quite wide enough there to give Cummings a run at it. Wakeland chipping in for the Eagles there was Jones. Back to Cummings. Cummings to the front of the goals, well played. Oh, Philip Batira. In goes Burke. Batira. Oh, well done. He's going to get run down. He's still got the ball. He's got to be penalised. Well, that was just incredible stuff, wasn't it?
Well, just a small fumble by Phil Matera cost him the chance to slam it through, and desperation by the Saints to get back there and cover him up.
Nathan Burke, the handball over the top. Kicked away by McLaren. Gets it out towards Harvey. Harvey gets rid of his opponent. His immediate opponent is Banfield. He runs through the half-forward area, kicks the ball in the direction of Everett. Everett got one hand to it. Wapunda, Davis, tackled by McIntosh, and the umpire will bounce about 40 metres from the St Kilda goal.
Robert Harvey getting some good touches early, not only getting the ball, but finding that space ahead. And when Robert Harvey's running with the football, the Saints always look great.
What a battle between Everett and McIntosh to look forward to. Thompson pushing. Can he get it inside the line? He did that very well. Ryan trapped. Kicked quickly, and unfortunately for him, out of bounds on the full. And as Dipper mentioned, Ozzie Jones and Barry Hall, along with Stephen Zilla, on the bench for the Saints, and Begley, who came into the side. There's a great mark to Gardner.
Good young player, this fella.
He will really test Monkhurst, you would think, tonight. Goes into the middle. It wasn't a great kick. Over the two number 12s. Rintoul's hand pass was pretty good. The running Gehrig goes off the ground. He's about 60 out from goal. Hayes just lurking over the top. Did it pretty well in the end, Hayes. The handball not quite good, though. Goes in after it again.
Well
Support
done
from Shane Wakeland. Oh, all the possessions quick. And pretty good play from Maxie Hudson. Off the head of Rintoul on the rebound. Oh, well played that time by Gehrig. It's pretty scrappy stuff, isn't it? Needs some sure handling. And finally, well, Bellotti, scrappy kick. Rintoul waited off the ground. Good work by the Saints defence. Wakeland taken towards the boundary line. Hayes keeps it in and goes for half forward. Mitchell do well to stand his ground. He did that very well. Then he lost it. Rapunda right there with him. Davis lends some support.
Well done.
Thompson's got some space to work in. Fires it into low. Matera read it best of all. Gets some good fight from Ryan, who looks like he's playing a defensive job on him. But Matera and Morrison combining. There's nothing to go to for Matera.
There is.
He kept it pretty well, didn't he, to centre it?
Yes, he did, and waited. And then all of a sudden there was a player loose in the middle. It's Reid. Reid kicks the Eagles into their forward half of the ground. Oh, big fly there by Hudson. Then over the top by infringing against Jones, is it? And Hudson giving away the free kick. Probably should have taken the mark.
Should have taken the mark. Jones did the right thing. He stayed down to Crum, got his hands on the foot. He earned the free kick, but the Eagles' disposal at the moment going forward isn't helping them.
Well, this is not that much better. Jones kicks to the front of the goal square. Back is Hayes, Burke, Philip Matera. Philip Matera gets a goal. Well, that was like robbing the pool, wasn't it? Just picked the pocket there, Philip Matera, of Nathan Burke to get the goal. And the opportunity that was there a few moments ago that, well, he would have been licking his chops. He's got one on this occasion.
Well, he's looking very sharp and very dangerous, isn't he? There's no doubt that Burkey's going to have his hands full with Phil Matera tonight. He's been, every time the ball's been down there, Phil Matera's looked very dangerous. And at the other end of the ground, we've got the battle of the talls, McIntosh and Everett. Down here, we've got the small guys. They're going to be great.
So 2-1. Matera capitalising. Again, Monkhurst against Gardner. And it was Monkey who got the ball down, but Thompson couldn't clear it. Good work by Ryan on Matera, but his persistence paid in the end. McLaren manhandled. Cousins. It's pretty tough stuff in there. Hard to get a clean possession, but eventually emerging with it is Carr. He carries it to the wing, floats the hand pass. McLaren, the kick is in front of Lowe, who's leading out well. And that was good play. And the space that you talked about early, John.
He's got to get his hands on it early too, doesn't he? I think he's a confidence player.
And he needs to be looked after. That's a great kick forward, just really to Lowe's advantage. Very hard to stop someone who's got his hands as strong as Stewie Lowe's on a lead. Didn't have to break stride, and Djakovic, as much as he tried to take his arms, was never going to, make Stewie Lowe miss that mark.
It's great when you look at it, isn't it? Stuart Lowe against Glenn Djakovic and Ashley McIntosh against Peter Everett. Two classic confrontations. Stuart Lowe's distance is about 35. His angle is not a problem. Terrific kick by Lowe.
It's a sensational kick by Stewie Lowe, and a pretty good setup there by the Saints. They're starting their tall forwards deep in, right in the goal square, giving them plenty of room to lead into. And now what St Kilda are going to rely on is those midfielders to find space so that they can run the ball and get it in there very quickly. They're really going to test out the Eagles. They're trying to push Wirapunda, Djakovic, McIntosh all back in the goal square, and that's going to really test them out.
tight struggle early. Possessions pretty well even across the ground. And just opportunistic stuff by both sides. Lowe getting a goal, Everett getting a goal. Now Mitchell White may get a goal for the Eagles. A long shot at goal is offline through for a behind.
Pretty important goal, not only for St Kilda, but Stewie Lowe too. Once he kicked that ball, he just ran to the middle, just cheered on his teammate, because a lot of confidence is needed at that centre-half forward position.
So you can see Wakeland going straight down the middle of Colonial. Target was Monkhurst, just to try and make a contest. Wakeland Shane it was coming through. He drags it under. Gehrig fighting for it.
Very important there that Shane Wakeland held that up, because the Eagles had 2 or 3 around the ball that were on their feet and could have carried that away.
What do you make of the Burke and Matera matchup down in the forward line, John?
I think it probably would have been Peckett who would have got the job if he was right in the side. Burke's obviously a great defender, but Phil Matera's got that sensational explosive speed which will test him out.
Fletcher's kick was good to Morrison. A lot's been said about Tim Watson's use of Nathan Burke and Robert Harvey.
Ozzie Jones on now, boys, and Ben Walton off.
Morrison, well, he had space to kick in, didn't he? And he did it well.
Yeah, they did do that well. They kept their forward line very open so that Jones could make a direct lead at the player into space. No one going to cut across his path. And that's sometimes the case where Jones isn't noted as one of the key forwards for the West Coast. And all the other keys were really being covered. Gehrig, White, Cummings and Matera. This man found some space.
So a good tight battle, and he worked the angle beautifully. The Eagles third.
Well, the goals keep on coming, and as we said, 2 different or contrasting forward setups. The Eagles have got a general setup. Cummings in the goal square with Phil Matera down alongside him. They're trying to isolate those 2. They want the ball to come to the ground with not too many other people around Phil Matera, but he's going to test out Nathan Burke. Up the other end of the ground, there's 4 or 5 St Kilda players sitting in the goal square, and they're relying on leading into space with their big players down there.
And Ozzie Jones, boys, has moved down to the forward line as well.
Tim Watson on screen, just relaying some messages down to the runner. Metropolis and Turnbull and Williams having a spell on the bench. Barry Hall still on the bench for St Kilda. Cousins kicks it inside the forward 50. Fletcher run down, got the hand pass away. Williams gets it to Morrison, and Morrison has hooked the ball a little too far and scores another behind to the Eagles. So the Eagles 3-2 lead St Kilda 2 straight. Zilla just limbering up on the interchange bench, and number 22 is James Begley.
Well, at the other end of the ground, you can see it on the very long shot, the Saints have got a real big bunch of players still tight in their forward line, so they can get it down sort of midfield, then they'll have the chance to burst out and provide some options, and they're going to the outer side of the ground to try and do that. Delaney. Now let's watch to see what he does, because
Matthew Young,
he brings it back inboard and goes to Young, which probably wasn't a bad option. The forwards have started to break and come up and try to provide some leads on the outer wing. Chad Davis, that was. He doubled back onto it well, kept his body over it, but he was almost caught. In the end, it didn't matter. The Eagles are able to clean up. This is Cousins. He's got time and space to kick it up to half-foot. Well judged. Mitchell White, just superior judgment there. Sold his teammate into all sorts of trouble. An advantage paid, and Hayes takes it from Young and can go through the middle. Good build-up by the Saints. Lowe's charging out. He's in front. Couldn't hold the mark. Jakovic was there with him. Reed's handball not all that accurate. He has to go again. Mitchell, that was lightning stuff. Let's see what the finish is like. Mitchell did well. Standing handball. Ozzie Jones across the face. Everett, oh, the hand from McIntosh was just fantastic.
Well, that's a great build-up. That's exactly what St Kilda want. The turnover at half-back with a bad handball from Mitchell White sent the Saints away. They want to bang it in there long. Stewie Lowe storming out. A great effort by Jakovic to get a hand on it, and then a great effort by McIntosh to punch the ball away from Everett. But this is going to be exciting up there all night.
well, it's being set up as just that. Peter Matera to Wapunda. Wapunda now running through the half-back line. Can he move? In a foot race, he'd be a fancy, wouldn't he? David Wapunda kicks the ball to half-forward. It spills to the back. Wakeland wouldn't have a clue which one it is, but kicks it out wide. Chance here for Morrison. Gets past Hayes. Handball in. Gardner back onto the right. Then sweeping hand pass. Rintoul should kick a goal. From 50 metres, Chad Rintoul hooks the kick. Doesn't even score.
So they're just very poor with their disposal going forward at the moment, the West Coast. Even Wurapunda's kick long in, really not to Cummings' advantage. And then a shot at goal that's gone out of bounds on the full. If they pick that up, they'll be looking a lot more dangerous.
Well, that is the key, isn't it? If you've got a kick with not a lot of pressure on, you really have to make the opposition really feel the hardness of the advantage kick. Here's a chance for St Kilda.
This is how they want it, Robbo, running into space.
But they've got to do something with the ball. I don't think Daryl Wakeland was aware there after the second tap, maybe, that he was in the open. He's kicking towards half forward. A little bit too fierce there for Lowe. In went Everett. Mitchell there to Crum. Reid combining now. McKenna, the shepherd on Davis. Not bad. Reid, the kicker down the line. Taken here by Cummings. Geez, a long way from goal.
He is. He goes to Garrick, who's marked about a kick and a half out. He'll wheel onto the left. Will he unload or go short? Mitchell White's one option. Doubling back is Jones. In that drill, they all fell down. They all fell down. Free kick against Burke to Philip Matera. Ringer, Rosie. And he's not happy, Nathan.
He's not, but this is what happens with Phil Matera. He's so dangerous. Burke totally aware of the fact that if Phil Matera gets a break on him, he won't be able to run him down. So with just that physical touch on him, he's pushed him in the back and the umpire picked it up.
Well, they almost blocked him as a team then, didn't they? I wonder if we had another shot, as we might see it a bit clearer, but
it was a good chase. Scott Cummings obviously got that kick up in the wing because he had chased Wakeland all the way down. If he had given up the chase and sat back, he wouldn't have been in the position to get the turnover kick coming out. So good, always good to see the full forwards being honest and chasing their men down the ground.
So Philip Matera has already been dangerous in front of goal, as he is so often. They've missed a few. Oh dear. Another miss.
What do you think is the explanation for a player? There's no wind at all. There's just nothing going to affect the shot at goal from point-blank range.
No, there's really no excuses in this stadium. Certainly, Robbo, just a lapse of concentration. Probably didn't kick through the ball.
No. Well,
against Burke again.
We'll see what the replay says before we condemn him.
I agree with you, Hutto. Is this when he just shepherd him? Well, a bit high there, mate.
Yeah, it's one of those real tough ones. I mean, there was high contact. It wasn't affecting the flow of the play.
It's one of your shepherds. We know that.
Only on you, Dipper. But, I mean, the free kick was there. It was high contact, but you just wonder, Burke was doing the team thing, trying to give a shepherd. It wasn't going to hurt Cummings. But maybe in that situation, the umpires have got to let it go.
Was it over the shoulder or was it?
It was over the shoulder, Hutto.
I think it was, Hutto, so the umpires probably have to pay the free kick.
Well, let's see if Cummings can improve the accuracy record of the Eagles so far. No.
Can I...
and I wonder what Nathan Burke's saying to him there.
Well, just go with the play there for a moment, but I just think in the middle of the ground, where there's a lot of congestion, more players around the ball, that you've got to commit kamikaze nearly to get a kick. And to give easy free kicks like that, and a player gets a free shot at goal, I reckon they've got to work a bit harder for it. Robert Harvey does well, kicks the ball to Davis. Davis goes down the line as well and does it nicely. They've got to get more advantage. Here, McLaren. He's just set it up a little too high, but hasn't. Hutchton done some hard running. He's playing across the half-back line, and he's all the way up to half-forward. He kicks it into half-forward proper, and Thompson. I think Andrew Thompson, there's never much of a question mark against his performance for the St Kilda side. He does a lot of hard running. He's playing on Cousins. Cousins has had 5. Thompson coming up for his 4th possession, but he could kick a goal. He could kick a goal. He does kick a goal, Andrew Thompson.
How often does that happen?
Well, it certainly does, and that's going to be another great matchup. Thompson on Cousins, 2 exciting players, 2 players who know how to get the ball and how to use it. And if one of them can get forward and kick goals like that, that can be the difference in the real value of that player to the side. So there's no doubt the Eagles will need Cousins at some stage to try and kick a goal for them.
Hutchton was good, running all the way down to give them a target.
So the Saints, obviously by their accuracy, staying in it after the Eagles missed some easy ones. Thompson to 50. It's very open at centre-half forward. Young almost played that as a defender, not as a centre-half forward. Cousins, well tackled. The Eagles combination across half-back, as always, strong. Morrison's bouncy kick. Ryan has got the job on Matera. Did well that time. And did very well on the second effort. Terrific stuff. Harvey has a disposal. It's not bad. Delaney. His kick into space. Everett goes up 1-2. He's got it. And Everett's within range.
Well, great effort by Ryan on Matera. Just a desperation. There's no doubt a player like Ryan matching up on Peter Matera, all he's going to try and do is keep the ball out of Matera's hands. He's not going to worry about how he disposes of it, and a great effort to protect the ball there.
He went pretty close to the man of the mark, but no problems for the Spider. He can't miss.
Well, the big Spider had a lot of practice at goal kicking last week against the Cats, 9 goals 6. That is a very good kick for goal, and we've talked about the Eagles' disposals going forward, but even their finishing, Robbo, a few shots at goal, they are costly because now they're behind St Kilda when really they probably could have been sitting on a comfortable lead if their disposal, their finishing had been as good as the Saints.
Well, this is one criticism that I have of St Kilda, and I think they get the ball often enough. They've just got to use it a bit better, and they have so far in this match. Everett has kicked 2. Already looming as a big threat for the West Coast Eagles up there at full forward. Thompson, well done by Cousins to get between his opponent and the ball and force a ball up. No, they're going to be a free kick against Thompson for not moving it on. So the umpire red hot on that.
Peter Matera's gone to the goal square. Ryan's gone with him. Philip Matera out at half forward.
Cousins with the ball. Possession number 7 for Cousins. Lands the ball at half forward. Jones just runs past it. Carr does reasonably well. Can't get rid of it. Be careful you don't get penalised here. Umpire sees that as all fair and above board and will bounce. Only 35, maybe 30 metres from the West Coast Eagles goal. They lead 3-4. They don't lead. They trail 3-4 to 4 straight.
There's no doubt they've pushed Peter Matera to the goal square because they think his pace on a lead will test young Ryan. So we'll see how that matchup turns out.
Well, here he is, getting ridden into the ground. He wanted a free to play on. Here's Phil Matera. Hayes putting the pressure on. Morrison's been very prominent early, and his kick is good. Although wide, it is very accurate. And Laurie Bellotti has taken the mark in the pocket.
Yeah, well, I've ended up with possession this time. A good chip kick to Bellotti, but a very tough kick from here.
You'll probably nail this one after they've missed so many in front.
It's often the way it happens, isn't it? But a tough kick and not really where they're going to want to take too many shots at goal.
Well, will he run around? He just improves the angle slightly. It wasn't a bad kick. I think he just pushed, well, it was out in the full, but it wasn't a bad kick.
It was straight off the boot, wasn't it, Hutto? Didn't deviate at all, but just faded across.
So Young takes the mark as the Saints try and build in familiar fashion, pushing out wide to half back. They've lost one of their partners in crime, and Justin Pickett, not in the lineup tonight, but Shane Wakelin, who returned last week, along with Darryl. Now up to half forward. Aussie Jones thought he would run behind the ball that time, was hoping Wirapunda wouldn't take the mark.
Got rid of him too easily physically, didn't he?
Yeah, Aussie, whether he misread it or not, he had to make more of a contest in that one.
Wirapunda kicks the ball into the middle with precision, finds Mitchell White, hand pass off to McKenna. McKenna, that's better. That is a magnificent passage of play by the Eagles to get the ball to Cummings, and he will shoot from about 50 metres.
Yeah, that was a lot better passage of play. McKenna's picking up young Chad Davis. That's going to be a great experience for him to play on a player like Guy McKenna. Chad Davis has run him around a bit, but then you see McKenna knows when to run to get himself into the game, and his use of the ball there, leading the way for the Eagles, showing them how he wants his teammates to do it.
Ryan Turnbull now on for Mitchell White.
Maybe Mitchell White, he's obviously come back in from an injury, and the Eagles are just probably a little bit wary that they'll rest him when they get a chance to make sure he sees the game out and doesn't get a recurrence of that injury.
We're watching Scott Cummings going for his first goal of this match. Lovely long kick, and he's kicked a goal.
Well, that's the reward that they need, that passage of play, as you said, Robbo. That's Guy McKenna showed them how they should be delivering the ball in the forward line. Cummings presents himself continuously throughout a game, and there's no doubt that a full forward will get frustrated if the ball is just being kicked up over their head every time. When you get rewarded like that, Cummings, he won't be able to wait till he gets a chance to make another lead, and his teammates have to try and reward him. The Saints players have been doing it up the other end the Eagles are going to try and follow suit.
So the Eagles back in front. And Thompson goes backwards. Now McLaren. It's an open forward line because 5 players from St Kilda started in the square. The target was Everett, but McIntosh outmarked him. Should have been paid the mark, I thought. He thought so too. They'll get out of it all. McKenna, dangerous handball, but they had the numbers. Reid goes very high. McIntosh, from a standing start, was well shepherded, very well shepherded. Allowed him to get away, put it out in front of Gardner. Monkhurst there for the spoil, but terrific work by young Chad Fletcher. His kick wasn't great, but it wobbles towards 50. And he hanging on there on Jones. No, his handball meant for Rintoul, played for a free kick, didn't get it. They're on 50. Fletcher goes in again.
See, Hudson was good there.
A bounce.
Yeah, very good. Good desperation by both sides there. Chad Fletcher running hard to get himself in the play, but he was going nowhere, wrapped up in the tackle.
Chris Lewis waiting for his appearance tonight back in the Eagles team. Morrison can set them up. Now this is one-on-one, right down in the goal square. He's in front, Gehrig.
There was a mismatch there.
He was always going to be too tall, wasn't he, for McLaren?
Yeah, it was a funny hit out from that boundary throw-in by Monkhurst. He obviously had decided to whack it out hard. Chad Morrison was the only player sitting back in that position. Now, whether there was meant to be some communication between Monkhurst and his Saints teammates to be running to that spot, it didn't happen. And as a result, Chad Morrison's banged it in, and Fraser Gehrig's having a shot for goal.
How do you rate this guy, John?
Well, a tremendous athlete, and his consistency is just where he can improve.
Well, another near miss for the Eagles. 4-5 to 4 straight. And do you think that about reflects general play, about 9 shots to 4?
Probably does, yeah. I think if the Eagles had used the ball better, they would be they'd have a reasonably comfortable lead at this stage.
15 times inside their forward 50, the Eagles, to 9 against St Kilda. Gee, they're going to get one here, aren't they? Fletcher can straighten up, gets it back to Peter Matera. He's bumped as he kicks there by McLaren, hooked the kick, got good distance in the finish, but not the accuracy that he was looking for, and scores the 6th behind for the Eagles.
Well, Delaney handing over the kicking duties this time to Darryl Wakeland. And Delaney ends up, there's a big divot there in the forward pocket, which has been repaired. Thompson takes it away. We're inside the last 30 seconds of this quarter. Will there be one more scoring chance? If there is, it'll be St Kilda's. On the lead was Harvey, and on the lead is Aussie. He's just outside scoring range. He can pump it long into the square. Low, Everett was up, but he couldn't take it. Davis, Everett will kick his 3rd. And the Saints will go into quarter time on level terms with the Eagles, and I reckon Tim will be pretty happy with that.
Oh, and there's no doubt the movement was a lucky bounce out on the wing, just sat up for the Saints, and they pumped it in long and hard. Aussie Jones leading quickly up the ground, which was great play. And when you've got Lowy and Everett up there, why wouldn't you get it in there quick? Well rode by Chad Davis, and Smart had the presence of mind to dish off the handball to Everett, who was in a good spot, rather than trying to snap it on his left foot himself. And Everett, he's looking very dangerous, isn't he?
He's got the football smarts, I reckon, Chad Davis.
Can a father and son be twins? He is so much like his father. And he's so clever. I mean, Alan Davis was a terrific player, and he played with about 4 VFL clubs. But by gee, Chad looks and moves like his father so incredibly.
That's a great tackle.
Go on, John. Yep. Well, that is quarter time, but just you get a couple of seconds to explain that.
Oh, Ben Cousins, just Monkhurst took the ball away there, and Ben Cousins grabbed him, actually lifted him up and put him on the ground. For a little bloke to wrap up Big Monkey like that was real desperate stuff.
Well, you can't get much closer, Hutto.
No, I reckon Tim Watson will have learned a bit in that. I'm sure you're on the job, Dibber.
Fraser Gehrig starting out on the wing here for the West Coast, and all the Saints forwards again deep inside their goal square.
So we're underway in the second quarter, and Lenny Hayes off the left boot, and that is a skyscraper of a kick. Would have almost tested the roof if it had been closed. Hudson now, this is where the pack breaks from the square. 5 Saints around it, Low was flying. Aussie Jones stayed down, did it well. Mitchell under pressure and gave it up. Was that a trip? It was an accidental trip, so it's just a free kick.
You mentioned Gehrig. Hudson is his immediate opponent, and it'll be interesting to see just how that works out, Hudson and Gehrig.
Matera back in defence now. We've seen him already in both offensive and defensive roles, or defensive. The ball onto the wing, knocked away, and that's a free kick to Gardner. Advantage paid and taken quickly. Cousins to centre half forward, deep inside 50. 2-on-1. The Wakelands teamed up on Cummings. Better kick it quickly, Darryl. Just an off forehand there. Got it away to Hayes from half back up to half forward. Ryan, he goes for Matera with him. Ryan was strong, but the numbers with the Eagles. McKenna ripped it away, and they've got a loose man at centre half forward. Mitchell White, attack on the footy was good. Couldn't win it. Oh, Burke, attack on the footy, never be questioned. Handball out to Hayes. Well tackled, Larry Bellotti. Will he be rewarded? Not yet.
Should have been.
And the umpire will bounce it.
I know there's no such rule as dropping the ball, but that was a perfect example of the old dropping the ball. Watch, down, tackle.
Well, he took him on, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, and probably had that chance to get rid of it.
Hayes has the ball for St Kilda at right half back, goes short, and a good mark in front of his face to Davis.
It's a great strong grab at pace with McKenna right on his tail.
And he's got a 50-metre penalty. Obviously, the Eagles player being asked to come back on the mark, not listening, not obeying. Don't quite know whether it was McKenna, but he's the man that's gone back to mind the markers. Well, the umpire will ask Chad Davis to come back because while that 50-metre penalty is taking place, the umpire has called time on.
Yeah, the player, Everett, broke pretty early then, just a little bit too early, because the umpire won't let the kick go until he's actually set the mark, and players have to understand that and hold their leads back. Again, it was a good lead, and Everett found space away from McIntosh.
Our umpires tonight are Gavin Dorr, Andrew Coates and Matthew Norden. That is Matthew Norden officiating in that area of the ground at the moment. Davis kicks the ball. Thompson right in the middle of a pack of about 5 players, and didn't really have an opponent as he went for the mark and took it.
No, picking up Ben Cousins, he'd pushed hard forward there, and just followed out Stewie Lowe or Robert Harvey there with the lead. Stewie Lowe held back, knowing he was there.
Thompson goes for goal and kicks the first goal of the second term.
That's his second goal, and again, playing on Ben Cousins. Cousins has been good. He's had 8 possessions and 4 tackles, which is a great start for him. But Thompson's gone forward. He's also had 8 possessions, and those 2 goals, very, very handy for the Saints. And the Eagles will be looking to make sure that Ben Cousins stops him running forward and being dangerous like that.
So Saints in front. Harvey playing at centre half forward. He's the only man inside the 50 who's not in the goal square. And some questions on that for you in a moment, John, and we might get a chance now. I'm interested to see the Eagles, when the Saints have moved into attack, haven't pushed someone from further down the ground to fill the spot, because they're all leading out into space.
Yeah, they are. It's one of those situations. Who do you push down there to fill that spot? And the Saints are playing it on their terms at the moment. It may be something that Judge will look at.
Quick kick out of the middle from Hayes. Here they are, charging out as a group. It came through to Lowe. He got one high. He got one high. And he's got the resulting free. Again, it was one you can argue over.
Probably was. Very hard situation. Stewie Lowe storming out from goal like that. Banfield running straight towards him. Stewie Lowe had his head down. Hadn't ducked because he'd gone down to try and pick the ball up, and there was some high contact. And we saw Scott Cummings get the free kick against Burke for just a bit of high contact in the Shepherd, and the umpires consistent there, rewarding the high contact with Stewie Lowe.
So big Stewie, just the one kick so far. It was a goal, importantly. Can he do it again? It was off about 2 steps, but it did the job. Saints by 2 goals now.
Well, it does help kicking straight. There's no doubt that the Saints in that first quarter were dominated a little bit by West Coast, but their straight kicking kept them in it. All of a sudden they kick a couple of goals and they've got that little lead, and they'll forget that they were a little bit behind the 8 ball in that first quarter, and they're in front, they're pumped up, and they'll want to go on with it now. So the West Coast have got some work to do to close them up, try and get the ball down the other end and score.
Yeah, it was a great feeling in that quarter-time huddle, boys. We know that it was a great feeling at the St Kilda huddle there at quarter time. We know that Timmy Watson wants a lot of commitment by all the players out there.
Ken Judge with Robert Wiley, Chris Waterman in the foreground. The umpires found a free kick. And it's a holding decision in the goal square, wasn't it, John? And the kick comes all the way back to where the ball is.
Well, I would have thought normally the kick goes where it penalises the side the most.
No, I think it's going to the west.
It's got to go to the other way.
It has to, yeah. Otherwise,
so
it would have been a free kick.
Would have been a goal, shot at goal, wouldn't it?
Now, I don't know why St Kilda forward was holding onto an Eagles backman right down in the goal square, but
incredible.
The umpire saw it.
Matera kicks the ball in towards half forward, but the mark is taken back there by Begley.
Metropolis on now.
Gets the handball away to Carr. Oh, he's got it straight away. Metropolis come off the bench.
Bellotti off, boys.
Although Damien Ryan, he probably thought he had that all mopped up, and Metropolis has come from nowhere.
I think Carr felt the same with the kick. I think he probably saw Ryan on his own, didn't spot Metropolis coming off the bench.
His kick in towards half forward. Oh, spectacular leap and mark. Taken back there by Carr. Hand pass away to Hutchton. Hutchton between full-back and centre-half back. Kicks to centre-half back where McLaren marks. McLaren goes to Delaney. Delaney's got some pace. Trying to run him down was Fletcher. Delaney hooks the kick. It's a bit of a mongrel going into the forward line. Everett couldn't take the mark. Aussie Jones working underneath the pack. Gee, there's some heavy stuff in underneath there. It was Mitchell, actually. Werpunda. Hand pass away. Rintoul. Confronted there by Lowe, but the umpire has found a free kick back to Werpunda.
Gee, I thought there was some great tackling in there by the Saints forwards. I know they got penalised in the end, John.
Well, that's what the Saints forwards are doing very well at the moment. The ball's coming in long. If it is a pack contest, they're not allowing the Eagles to get that strong spoil and punch it away. And that's what German spoke about. He wanted the West Coast backs to try and get a good fist on the ball, but they can't do it at this stage.
So Peter Matera drives long. And there's a free kick, no advantage this time.
Against Mitchell White for a push out.
Goes to Wakeland. Shane, that's the shortest short pass you'll ever see. Harvey running sideways. Had to be good with the kick, and he was to McLaren. Now McLaren looks up, hasn't got much on offer. Thompson's at half forward. Delaney provides a lead inboard. He's going to have to go wide. It's a one-on-one. Thompson did pretty well in the end. If he can run onto it, did he keep it in? No. He can't believe it.
I think he knew what you said, that if he could have kept it in, he was away.
He was away. Ben Cousins had given up the chase. He thought if that's staying in, I'm gone here.
And Turnbull about to come on, boys, as we'll see on screen, just warming up on the boundary line.
It'll be interesting to see how long Damien Monkhorst racks for too. Wakeland did pretty well to get ball to boot in the end. Rowan Jones, Harvey's tackling has been a feature, as is the combining between these two, Cousins and Morrison. And now Rintoul as the Eagles build through centre half forward. He could go for a vacant square. He does that. Running onto it was Gehrig. He couldn't pay it in the end, could he?
Well, it's a mark, surely. Surely he's marked it before he carried it through for a behind.
He's paid it.
He has paid the mark. I mean, it did look like he marked it, but he didn't really have control of the footy. It was
what about the angle?
A bit lucky. He's a left footer, so he shouldn't have too many troubles there. Just taking those couple of steps out and getting it through.
Yeah, well,
Saints fans, they're certainly not happy about it.
At least that's a more correct angle. A lot of arms waving out there. Let's see if he can just walk around and slot it. We'll get a great shot. They need some direction from the umpire as to how close Delaney can go. He gets that. And he's going around now. Made good contact. Got it.
Well, that's the strength of Fraser Gehrig, just running extremely hard back towards goal, outpacing his opponent. Chad Rintoul covering a lot of ground, and you can see it's quite interesting when you watch players bounce the ball, run and bounce the ball on this surface. They have to really thump it into the ground. You just have a look here, because it doesn't really come up that well. You see there, just nearly just sat high enough for Rintoul to gather it, and then he banged it in long. He was having a shot at goal, but Gehrig worked hard back there, finished it off very well.
Someone screamed out Herschel Gibbs.
You've had a look at the replay, John. Did he mark it?
I don't know if he had control of it, no.
Well, the Eagles have got clear from the centre bounce through Cousins. They're kicked away for St Kilda out wide. The mark is taken here by Begley. Begley's kick goes towards left half forward. Marking contest between Davis and McKenna, taken by Banfield. His first effective possession. Monkhorst at half back. Back to Wakeland. Wakeland goes short to McLaren. Gee, they've got a chance here, haven't they? Thompson's on his own. Cousins was 35 metres from Thompson. Goes into the pocket, getting back. Good stuff by Harvey. Wapunda looking for the free kick. Well,
he was a bit stuck there,
is
Robbie.
that real? Is that real, though? I mean, he's probably one of the most honest players that's ever played the game. Now, do you think he's having a go here, or what can he do about this?
Yeah, he had absolutely no chance to get an arm loose to knock the ball out, but maybe you've got to reward the players for laying a good tackle. It's a hard one.
There was no motion there, was there, from Harvey? Not even an attempt. Hayes gets a free. Well, Saints with the ball on the wing, and there's just a bit of fire in this match at the moment. It's a beauty. The ball up to 50, Lowe's in front. Jakovic was behind, plenty of Eagles behind to support Wapunda. Just got rid of it in time. They had the numbers out wide. Rowan Jones, and the dish off to Cousins, who's just been pretty consistent all night. His kick wasn't bad.
Well done, Hodgson.
Gee.
It came from a long way behind Fraser Gehrig then.
That's what he's got to do, because when a forward is a quick leader like Gehrig is, there's always a chance that they have to properly take the mark, and if the backman keeps up the hard chase, you can quite often get a fist in on the ball.
There's Harvey back on ball and winning a possession, winning it well too. Into space, his kick is pretty wide for Lowe. That's a good Stuart Lowe mark, isn't it? Tough and out wide at about half forward. Everett's going to have to beat a couple here. He got shoved out, but fairly in the body marking contest. And it's Matera who can combine. It was the old firm then, and they got out of it, and the Eagles up to half forward.
The kick not too bad. Not able to take the mark was Cummings. Wakeland, that's Shane with Scotty Cummings. Cummings tapping it in front of himself. Really didn't have the opportunity to gather it, because as soon as he did, I'm sure Shane Wakeland was right onto him, and in the finish it rolls over for a throw-in.
Yeah, it's not a bad result. He's forced the ball another 30 or 40 metres down the ground, so it's still in a very dangerous scoring position for the West Coast.
Free kicks 14 to the West Coast, 8 to St Kilda. So if you're wondering, when a free kick is given to the West Coast, the ironical cheers from St Kilda fans, that's why. Delaney from the left back pocket kicks it back to the wing. Mark taken by Peter Matera. No one really to kick to. He'll go across the centre of the ground. Providing the lead was Morrison. He couldn't take it. Philip Matera could. Banfield, left foot kick by Banfield, not bad. Out in front of Cousins. Now Cousins the chance here. His direct opponent Thompson. They've both had quite a few possessions. Thompson 9, Cousins 12. Thompson has kicked a couple of goals, so Ben Cousins now the chance to just answer that by kicking accurately here. Good kick by Cousins. Very good kick. It's a goal to the Eagles. He becomes the 6th goal kicker for the West Coast. Scores level once again. 12 scoring shots to 7. St Kilda very, very accurate. 7 straight. The West Coast 6 goals 6.
Yeah, and again, just not a real good kick by Peter Matera. Off one step, trying to kick it across in front of Chad Morrison, and it lands at his feet. But then we see Ben Cousins end up with the ball and finish off very well. He's a class player, and that really helps him get on the board against Thompson with that goal.
So scores level. Another change for St Kilda. Young Chad Davis, who's playing on McKenna, is off. Then Ben Walton onto the ground. Delaney into the middle now. Has got a bit of the footy tonight. His kick this time goes out wide. Banfield with the job on Harvey. Takes the mark. Good work from Shane Wakeland. Just worked them inside out. And then Delaney kicks it out wide to half-back McLaren. Has to be one of the Saints that fires and becomes an important ball carrier for them. But again, their avenue into the forward line, right out along the boundary line, and Aussie Jones couldn't take the mark.
Well, that's the sort of spoil that you like to see from the backman, where they can get a good fist on it, punch it out of bounds, and nullify that attacking move, give your whole squad a chance to set up again and run the ball out of defence.
Boundary throw in low, doing the ruck work. Kicked away by Jones, back towards the middle of the ground for the Eagles. Beautifully gathered there by Rintoul, gets back onto his right, and then kicks it to within 40 metres of goal. The ball spills. Where are the Crummers? Hudgton, Philip Matera, Nathan Burke, Ben Cousins, a good, very good block. Philip Matera into the goal square. It's gone too far. They're going to make a meal of it. You wouldn't believe that. That was an absolute Monty.
Well, that's exactly what I've talked about with their disposal at the moment. They had 2 players on their own in the goal square, still couldn't get it to either one of them, and missed another great opportunity to kick an easy goal.
You could make a lowlights tape tonight, couldn't you? Of unlikely Eagles fumbles. Hudson as they come around the wing. Ryan, the job on Matera tonight. He just hesitated for a moment.
Matera's had 12 possessions.
Goes to half forward. Plenty of space for Mitchell to work in. At the back, Delaney had to go through and ride the bump. Had no one in support there on that occasion. He fights on well. Gets it back to the wing. Hayes, handball intercepted. G. Rintoul's been good for them. This time his kick went nowhere. So Saints can set something up on half forward. Can they penetrate this line though? He goes through the middle. Harvey out wide to centre half forward. Attracting it well was Carr, who can go down towards Everett. He made it hard. He kicked it very high. Free kick to Delaney.
Oh, that was the most sticky touchwood free kick you've ever seen.
Yeah, it was again. Phil Matera just working back, trying to get in a position behind Delaney. His arms just brushed across Delaney's body. We see there.
It was the hanging on that he paid for, I think.
He has paid it.
Barry Hall on now, boys. Monkhurst off.
So I wonder who's going to, if Everett will go into the ruck or whether it will be Hall.
Cousins gone for a rest up forward. He's right deep in the Eagles' forward line opposed to Thompson still.
So Delaney, this will really test him from 50. It's a good kick. It's going to go close, almost. And the Eagles not even conceding a behind in the end. So 8 minutes remaining, as you can see. The margin just 1 point. And Damien Monkhurst, a few days growth there. Just to add to the attraction. Ball thrown in the forward pocket. Low. Into space. McKenna.
Oh, brilliant.
He just carries it well too, doesn't he? Wirpunda through the middle of the ground. No free kick there. Begley can go straight down. Oh, straight down the middle. No, he went. I don't know what he was trying to do then. But the Eagles rebounding. Burke will have to be good here. He's outnumbered. Rintoul's handball. Matera. Oh, what a smother. Desperation. Absolutely fantastic from Carr. And that's the sort of stuff that can be well rewarded. And you talk about turning points in matches.
He's been good, Matthew Carr, and that was a great spoil. Great smother, sorry.
Philip Matera probably could have taken a half a step, couldn't he, and let the boy maybe run past him. But continuing on with what obviously his intentions were, played right into the hands of Matthew Carr. Admittedly, the St Kilda player did it very nicely. Banfield kicks in towards the full forward area. Again, missed his target by quite a few metres. Carr is well tackled. The ball kept alive. Thompson and Cousins again. Still there for the Eagles. Now a chance for Cousins. He's well tackled by Hudson. And the ball spills for a boundary throw in. So very intense play out there at left half forward for the West Coast Eagles. 6 goals, 7 to 7-1. It's just a point the difference here at Colonial Stadium. The second term of the big match here. Saturday night football on Channel 7. And the third round, St Kilda looking for their first victory of the year. Thompson misses his target, which obviously was Lenny Hayes. Andrew Thompson has been pretty good. 11 possessions, a couple of goals. Cousins 13 possessions and a goal. Matera's had 12. Joe McLaren's had 13. Hayes has had 11. Delaney's had 12. Been pretty good, Delaney. Banfield trying to crash his way through. Card with desperate stuff. Delaney again. Now the Saints will get clear of their half-back line. Thompson kicks the ball back to the middle of the ground. Nearly able to take it was Reid. Feeds it off to McKenna. McKenna, well done. That's very, very difficult. That kick was just slightly better weighted in the finish and gave Philip Matera the opportunity to mark in front of Nathan Burke.
I think that's the key, Robert. At least give him a chance to take the mark. A few of the other Eagles' kicks going forward have been at the feet, on the ground of the players. Makes it very hard to gather the ball at speed and still know that there's a player running up behind you. So McKenna, again, just a great kick in. And Phil Matera's missed a couple of shots and messed up a couple of other opportunities. So it's a pretty crucial one for his side now. Philip
Matera. You look there at the angle that is confronting Matera. He's shot for goal. Looks pretty good from here. Philip Matera's kicked his second.
Well, that's a lot better finishing. That's what they needed. One to get themselves steadied again. St Kilda have kept the pressure on the West Coast, and they just look like they're waiting for an opportunity to kick a couple of quick goals. Like, as I said, they've wasted a couple of opportunities, good opportunities. But see here, just good recovery by Phil Reid. Guy McKenna on the end of it, kicks it to Phil Matera's advantage. Again, leading Nathan Burke up to the ball. that occasion there, he had to finish off with a good kick, and he did the job.
So the Eagles out to a 7-point lead. Dipper, the benches have been working overtime down there. Yes, they have. Thanks, Dipper. Hayes kicks it out, kicks it out wide. Harvey gets the handball out towards the line. Begley. Now Harvey again. Into the pocket, Rintoul.
He's been good this quarter.
And Bellotti. Back again, Reed running. Oh, that wasn't a great kick. Hudson was at a high tackle.
Good tough stuff.
Gets up quickly. How's the finish? Looks great. Terrific kick. They're pretty pumped, St.Kilda. They are pretty pumped.
I think he was a player that was down a little bit last week, Max Hudson. And I guess that, you know, the coaching staff, John, would throw a challenge at players like that. You know, this is important. You've played enough football. You're one of our key players.
Yeah, well, he has to be. He's got good skills. He's got good endurance. He can play on the taller players. He can pick up the running players. And he's got to be able to finish off for St. Kilda. He worked pretty hard. And there's no doubt that had Garrett got hold of him, he was going to throw him well and truly into the ground. But he stood strong in the tackle, broke away, and his finish was excellent. Good, great goal by Max Hudson.
Well, Hudson kicks his first goal and brings the margin back to just 1 point with 5.5 minutes left in the first half. Harvey onto it, looks and then delivers. Bit of a mongrel punt kick. McKenna gets back, gathers, hand pass. Wapunda tries to break away and was tripped, was he? Tripped according to the umpire.
Stewie Lowe's gone into the ruck. The Eagles have released Jakovic to go up the centre half forward, and Laurie Blotty's gone back to pick up Barry Hall.
Everett infringing against McIntosh. McIntosh will take the free kick. Just a weighted kick. Jakovic missed his target. Lenny Hayes pretty good to Harvey. Harvey always seems to be able to see his vision enormous. Walton kicks it out wide and Everett is marked. Well, Everett's been pretty good. He's kicked 3 from limited opportunities.
Both sides, Dipper, have been using the bench a lot.
They certainly have, Anthony. Both have used it 7 times apiece, and the Eagles are trying to find a centre half forward. Both Turnbull and Mitchell White have replaced each other 3 or 4 times, and Bellotti's been as well. So that's the position they're trying to find at the moment.
After trailing by 7 points just a few moments ago, the Saints have the lead.
Well, really enjoying watching about Peter Everett tonight is that he's not just sitting in the goal square and hoping they bang it in long to him and he'll try and outmark McIntosh. He really is working extremely hard up the ground. We see he's blowing a fair bit, and just before the Eagles are running it out, Phil Reid had the ball, and Peter Everett's chase to put pressure on the sport player was outstanding, and then he worked back hard into the forward line. So when there was that turnover, he had a bit of space on McIntosh running back inside the 50, and he was rewarded with that.
So St. Kilda in front. It's been a pretty fascinating quarter. Gardner doing the ruck against Lowe. Quick kick from Ryan was very good to centre half forward, but Rowan Jones out-pointing Hayes on that occasion. And the Eagles out of trouble. Kick out wide from Williams. Finds Matera. And tonight, Peter Matera, 10 kicks, 2 handballs, 2 marks, and 3 tackles. Hudson standing the mark at the moment. Well, Saints have got numbers in that little pack, and the Eagles forced to play the role of defenders. Peter Everett following up on his performance last week of 9 goals and 4 the first week with another 4, so already 17 goals for the season. Monkhurst watching on as Stuart Lowe doing the ruck work. It's out of bounds again.
That Sizzler bloke's down on the bench too, still, Dipper.
Zilla, that's the word.
Ah, good on you, Dip.
He hasn't been used yet, and also Chris Lewis hasn't been used for the Eagles as well, so a couple of fresh players to come on.
So about 70 metres around from goal. No one went with Lowe. And the kick onto the wing is a tough one for Morrison. Backing back. It was good pressure both on Morrison and Jones. And St. Kilda cross up back to Begley's done a couple of nice things since he's come on. Walton will find this one tough. Did pretty well to run onto it though. Then he was crunched in an Eagles sandwich. A hand pass though to Hayes as he kept his footing. Will Everett go again? Not quite. And at the front of the
Holding.
It's a free kick. Is it Hall or Everett? Spider for goal number 5.
Well, there's no doubt once a player's kicked a few goals, you do become very, very wary of them. You don't want to give them any space at all. We'll see McIntosh coming here. Just had that little pull on his jumper. I think it was there, Robbo. I mean, we didn't see it on that angle, but I think the umpire spotted the little tug on his jumper, and they are paying those this year. There's no doubt about that.
You've gone soft since you retired, John. Beautiful kick from Everett. He's got 5.
The thing is that technically the free kick is there, but I get back to what happens in the centre square. The guys have got to work so much harder to get a free kick, and if you give a bloke a free kick like this, it's just a dead set shot at goal, and I reckon it's an unbelievable penalty against the opposition. Just didn't look as though there was much in it again.
No.
He fell over his own man.
Very hard to spot, but I'm sure the umpire paid the pull on the jumper. They've obviously made a directive that any holding up in the forward line they're going to pay, because we've seen them paying it this year so far, and they paid that one.
What about this? 10 goals straight to 7-7. You don't see that often.
And they're going to go forward again here. Harvey has been terrific. Harvey's kick across that half-forward line. Matthew Young spent a fair bit of the game after being on the ground in the first 10 minutes or so. He's been on the bench for probably 25 or 30 minutes. Kicking towards the pocket. It's punched back to Young. Gathered by Williams, and then the hand pass away to Rintoul. He goes out wide. Gehrig and Hudson. Gehrig advantage by the bounce. Still Hudson. And the Saints play the percentages. Walton, Banfield, still there. Walton gets a kick forward. Scrambly old left footer. Werpunda to mop up across that half-back line, and then kicks it long. A high one. Players can set themselves. Wakeland, Shane can get the hand pass back to Hayes, but he runs away. Not enough real pressure put on there by the Eagles half-forward line, and Davis infringed against. He went to ground attempting the chest mark, and Reid, the infringing player, Davis takes the free kick. Davis from centre wing. Under 2 minutes left. Barry Hall not able to take the mark. Walton, hand pass away. Werpunda playing the ball in front of himself. Jones trying to put the pressure on. Knocked away by Daryl Wakeland. Ball spills to the feet of Burke. Goes after it because Cummings. Now the chance for Harvey. Harvey goes in towards half forward. Mark taken by Delaney. Well, he'd be pleased with himself, Tony Delaney, because he hasn't played special football in the first couple of weeks, but the coaching staff having the confidence, and he's coming up for his 15th possession and could kick a goal right on the half-time siren.
Jakovic is off the ground. Mitchell White's gone to centre half forward. Also, Gardner's off the ground, and Turnbull's gone in the ruck for the West Coast.
So Delaney.
Looks like a blood rule, Robbo. Someone's got to come off the ground. So we're going to be held up here. But Robert Harvey, that really just stands out, doesn't he? Burke was looking for him. Wasn't a good kick. He was under pressure. Harvey gathered it. Normally a player feels they're under the pump in that situation. They're going to try and have a quick snap for goal. Harvey never even considered it. All he knew was first spot someone in the corridor, and just had the time and the ability to find Delaney.
And you can see Burke, you can see he saw that it was Harvey, so he just tried to get the ball to him somewhere near him.
Yeah, you've got confidence in your teammates, and a champion like that, you just think, well, even if it doesn't hit him on the chest, just get it in his direction.
I wonder if it means that Burke's been thrown forward too, or at least away from
It didn't look like it. Matera had come up around to feed it with him.
Yeah.
Delaney hesitatingly. I don't quite know whether he's got the accuracy here. You can see the goal umpire going across to the left, and not a big cheer from behind the goals. Tony Delaney misses. He's kicked it behind.
He's ruined it for them.
So with just under a minute left, St Kilda have kicked their first behind deep into the first half. McIntosh to kick it back for the Eagles.
And he goes to the outer side, low, stood in front and made the Eagles come over the top of him, and that they did. Turnbull, Rintoul has had plenty of the footy. It was all pretty reflex stuff. Jones will watch out here. On top of him came Young. McKenna could be buffeted off it. Numbers were with the Saints. Gehrig, there's only 25 seconds to go. Which way will this one go? Out of the middle. Better get rid of it, Matthew. Gets Harvey, went over his head. Had to be quick with the kick. Hall stood the ground and marked it. He stood the ground against Pilotti, and I wonder if he knows that there's only 6 seconds to go. Well, he won't know that.
He'll know in a minute when the siren goes.
As long as he doesn't play on. What do you reckon?
Well, certainly I think he's within range.
He'll kick it, boys, I'll tell you now.
As long as he doesn't try to kick it too hard, Dipper, and this will give them a very handy break.
I don't think he got full contact onto it. He didn't. So, despite their magnificent accuracy, a couple of misses in the last minute, just not quite giving the Saints the lead they would like, but they'd be very happy with their efforts in that second quarter. They kicked 5 goals too and held the Eagles to just 3 goals 1, and so they're in front at half-time.
Square half, all the St Kilda players back in their goal square, and the Eagles with a very well spread out forward setup.
So, as we said, plenty to look forward to. There's a good shot of the tactics Tim Watson's employed all night. The second half underway at Colonial, and Lowe a fumble, but he went in after it hard against Morrison. The ball is now with Gehrig, and that is a big high kick, tough one for forwards. Wakeland did enough to claim the mark.
He's playing about 10 metres in front of Cummings consistently when the ball's further away, more than a kick away up the ground, which is good tactics.
That could be costly. Morrison, it was the kick that really sent it up, and Cummings couldn't line them up for goal. He made it very tough for McLaren.
I'll be disappointed because he's been very tight on Cummings so far, and then to see him run back from his own mistake, Cummings end up with the ball to have a shot from there, that really does hurt you.
Well, McLaren probably could have done better as well. It really wasn't a great kick.
Gee, I thought Cummings might have kept going there and just run into an open goal. He's going to be hard to stop. He's a big man. We'll only see if he misses, won't we?
Oh, that's right. He is a very confident kick, and one player that would have no worries, Robbo, about going back and taking a set shot.
Well, he's kicked just 1 tonight. Now he's got 2.
Well, he hasn't been getting as much of the football as he did last year, Scott Cummings, but he's got the 2 goals from only 5 kicks so far. Last week, I think he kicked 2 goals against Sydney from only a couple of kicks, and even against the Kangaroos the week before, he kicked 5 from 5 kicks. So I suppose as long as he's ending up with the score on the board, that's what the coach is asking from him, Robert.
He averaged just over 4 goals a match last year. So a couple of goals against the name of Scott Cummings, but more importantly for the West Coast, they kicked the first goal of the second half. They're a chance to break away from the centre once again here. Peter Matera, kick across his left shoulder. Punch away there by Delaney. The ball rebounds to Fletcher. I think he's shown enough to indicate that he'll be a fair player over a period. Oh, good mark running with the flight of the ball into very much a dangerous play forward. There was Gardner. And he's marked about 50 metres from goal.
Yeah, good mark by Gardner. He only had the 2 possessions in the first half. He's been doing OK in the ruck contest, but the Eagles will need him to get more of the ball around the ground.
Probably not renowned for his long kicking. Lobs the ball in the goal square. Nearly the mark to Cummings from behind. Diving on it, Nathan Burke, and it will be bounced right in front of the Eagles' goal at the end of the square.
Well, I think when a player like Gardner has a shot from there, pretty tough kick, and was right on his distance, get it to the top of the square, because they've got one of the best crumbing forwards in Phil Matera there. You don't want the Saints to have the opportunity to belt it straight over the line for a force behind. You want the ball to come to the ground, be alive,
keep it alive, yeah.
The players like Philip Matera can be at their dangerous best.
Well, St Kilda lead by 6 points. They led by 13 at half-time.
Big kick in from Begley. Lowe had the ball knocked back to the danger area for the West Coast. Harvey, gee, just rode one, but rode another one. Got through 2 lots, but couldn't get through a third. His no-look handball wasn't bad at the end, was it either? Thompson Lowe, and eventually they're out of trouble. The kick was out wide for Davis, who in trouble, missed the target and got Thompson on the bounce. They've done this the hard way, pretty labour-intensive. Lowe, gotcha. Ball still in pretty fierce dispute. Good tackling by the Eagles, good persistence, but good persistence by St Kilda. In the end, they've got there by stealth, and McLaren's on the end of it, and his kick is very wide. Aussie Jones, can he turn this into something? A handball back for Mitchell, goes to the line. He might, he centres it, does it well to Everett. No, couldn't get it, the Spider. Hudson lightning handball. Delaney! Oh, he likes that! And why not? It was a great handball, wasn't it? And a pretty good kick.
Yeah, good setup by the Saints to centre the ball. You've got Spider Everett in such great form. Why not get it up to him? Regardless of whether he's in the best position or not, head to the top of the square where he was sitting. And as much as he didn't take the mark, he drew Matera to the contest. And that left a couple of Saints players free on the ground. And they worked the ball well there to end it up with Delaney to bang it through for a goal. But that's what happens when you've got a player like Everett there. He draws the opposition players to them. It makes it easier for the lesser lights down there to finish it off.
Mitchell White's been caught by the emergency umpire for the blood rule. He's been sent off the ground. Turnbull's now back on the ground at centre half forward.
Well, Delaney missed a sitter off the right foot in the second quarter and kicks a beauty off the left foot early in the third term. Harvey tries to get clear. Well, his hand pass was smothered. The kick forward, not quite the accuracy that he was looking for. Wirapunda kicks it in front of himself and bounces just inside the boundary line and over for a throw-in. Mitchell White running repairs on the boundary line. 68 plays 56, St Kilda lead by 12 points.
Harvey's effectiveness again there, John. Amazing, isn't he?
Oh, he just doesn't waste possessions, and when you get as many as he does, it makes you such a champion.
Thompson's kick was quick, and Rapunda, which way? Oh, he just attacked the footy. Did well, Jones was behind. Oh, Delaney, he is on fire tonight. Although the kick lets him down. Gehrig, handball was okay. Lewis, welcome back.
He is on fire.
He'll get Brownlow medal votes tonight, Delaney, without a doubt.
Well, let's see what happens from here on. Hudson from the real centre of the ground, trying to work his way to the front. Davis, McKenna close to him, and I'm sure getting a good lesson tonight. Davis from McKenna. There he is again. He just mops up so well, doesn't he? Up to half forward. The kick from Fletcher. But Wakelin intercepting. Backs himself against Turnbull. Good heavy shepherding from Begley. A thumping kick by Wakelin. Plenty of Eagles back there. One of them was Matera. Rode the bump pretty well. McIntosh has got Reed running off in a fair bit of space with some shepherding coming up from Lewis. Good persistence by Mitchell. The kick to centre half forward. Saints with numbers here, so it's kick to kick. Wakelin. Gee, good crashing work by the Eagles. Morrison, Cummings, Matera loves this. He'll use his pace to try and get the break on. Oh! For a beauty.
That's why people come to the footy, isn't it? I mean, that was just sensational work by Philip Matera.
It was sensational work, and Nathan Burke, as honest as the day's long, and he made every attempt he could to put Matera under pressure. He wasn't going to allow Matera one step back into the corridor, but Matera didn't need it on this occasion. You see Cummings go to him, he's still under pressure there. Burke's working as hard as he can, but just the pace of Matera and be able to balance and get it on his left foot and thread that through. That's just great stuff to watch. Sensational stuff.
Well, magical goal there by Philip Matera. He's kicked 3 and brings the margin back to 6 points once again. And Cummings there, his immediate opponent, one of the Wakelin boys.
Yeah, just standing right up front. Lewis has gone to man him up a little bit to put pressure on and try and force him back.
Cousins trying to create a contest in the middle of the ground. Still the Eagles, this time through Banfield. Squeezes a kick and gets pretty good distance. Sitting underneath it and taking the mark is James Begley. I think you mentioned Hutto in the second term that he did a pretty good job when he came on the ground. Had about 5 or 6 possessions in that second quarter. On this occasion, kicks it out wide, and Harvey is marked on centre wing.
It was a good kick, wasn't it? Was
hurt
well
himself,
weighted,
Harvey.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, I think just winded.
And he's gone down, and he kicked it well, didn't he? Got it to Hayes. So Hayes is about 2 kicks out from goal. Goes looking for Lowe, who was strong at it, but Wirapunda.
He's been Eagles' best player tonight, Wirapunda. Sensational player.
Slashing stuff. Zagovic kicks it up to the wing. Oh, they all went up. Jones fought for it well. It goes again. Oh, great fierce tackle from Thompson. Dislodged it. Burke's over the top of it. He'll want to make an effort to get rid of it. He did enough. And the ball to be bounced.
Isaac Jones, unfortunately, hasn't had a sniff near Wirapunda. It's just the way he's got that balance on that half-back line. Just reminds me of you, Woosher.
Oh, he backs himself and reads his play different, but he's not quite as quick as me.
Oh, Begley, that was a bit of a fumble. Lewis kicked it off the ground. Oh, Matera did well. Kicked it to his own advantage, and the pass wasn't bad in front of Gehrig. Hatchton, is he hanging on? Well, umpire said it's okay.
Got it now. He got it in finish.
He was late with the whistle.
At 2 or 3 occasions he probably could have got one, but the umpire let it go, which wasn't too bad, but in the finish certainly was there.
Yeah, I think Hutchinson threw his arms up, but maybe he thought he was stiff on the last one, but
He was grabbing him there.
he's certainly holding him. The umpire maybe just giving him the benefit that Gehrig was also had a hold of his arm, but he eventually got the free kick, and I think if he didn't get it, Gehrig would have been very, very frustrated.
Well, this is to level it up. And it came back, but Fraser not that happy with it. So the Eagles continuing to let themselves down, and that wasn't an easy shot, but 9-9 to 11-2 tells a bit of a tale. Had a few problems on their kick-ins, the Saints, but they've cleared quite a few as well. That's not a bad kick. Have to work hard for it though. Morrison quick with the hands again. Oh, Morrison was held without it. The umpire was unsided at the time. He'll get it again. He just tumbles over. Good work from Burke. Very good work. Carr carries it. Got to make an effort. He did, and it's a bounce.
What about the work of Nathan Burke? You beat him once, fair enough. You never beat him twice.
He's a terrier, isn't he? Second and third efforts are enormous. Just having another look here at that passage of play as the umpire restarts by a bounce between wing and half forward. Harvey's caught with the ball, but somehow he got out of there because he backed himself to hang on to it and then eventually maybe get rid of it to his team's advantage. Fletcher's kick was good, taken by Cousins. Cousins steadies, kicks the ball in towards centre half forward. Cummings in front, ball hits the ground. Turnbull knocks it forward to the advantage of the Eagles, but it's Hutchton, and his short kick has been marked by Hayes, and they're still inside their defensive 50. Goes short, gathered by Thompson. Thompson a little too high for Lowe, but he's able to judge it a bit better than his opponent in Banfield, and he's marked. Not quite up to the wing. Stuart Lowe kicked a couple of St Kilda's 11 goals. Everett has kicked 5. Leading goal kicker for the Eagles is Philip Matera with 3. The ball lands close to the wing. Hits the ground. Chance there for Damien Ryan. Well played, Dip.
That, I guess, is one of the weaknesses with the forwards set up when they haven't got someone to really present themselves as centre-half forward.
They do look, but they should just kick it into that space anyway and then start running onto it towards goal.
Well, Jakovic, he took them on and he kicked it high. Oh, Lowe was tremendous with courage, but Williams rode the bump, and got Gardner away, and that's a beautiful kick.
Well, it's amazing. That little interception, or the forced interception by Williams, has caused that, hasn't it, John?
Yeah, he had to put his body on the line, as did Stewie Lowe. Great contest by both players. And Williams fired up with a good, solid Shepherd. And we see Fraser Gehrig ended up, who's pushing deeper into the forward line now, and he's starting to worry Hutchton.
Well, this is to put them in front, and that's a better contact. The Eagles in front.
Well, it's a match-up. Hutchton is a fit player. And Gehrig, as we saw in that first half, spent a lot of time up on the wing, running through the midfield, still opposed to Hutchton, who was getting a fair bit of the ball. But let's see, we now see Gehrig going forward, and with his pace off the mark, and if the Eagles keep the forward line open, he could be a real dangerous player. They haven't been able to find Cummings with too much space. Gehrig may be the man who does the job for them.
Eagles lead 69 to 68. Umpire to restart play. Gardner up high. Harvey not able to control the ball. Thompson got his foot to it. Kicked it out wide. Awkward bouncing ball there for Morrison. Gee, that could have nearly been a free kick, couldn't it? Running through the wing was Fletcher. His kick lands the ball at half forward. They found a free kick. The advantage is with St Kilda. Delaney still getting possessions. Shane Wakeland runs through the middle of the ground, looking to give the hand pass away. Mockrell's going to get run down. Gee whiz, obviously the vision from behind wasn't all that spectacular. Shane Wakeland caught. Still a contest now. Monkhorst Well done, Lewis. Terrific play by Chris Lewis. Playing the percentages. Out wide is Matera. Matera to the goal square. Cummings should take the mark. If he doesn't, he should kick a goal. Yes! Another great left foot snap for the Eagles by Cummings.
Well, that was a great snap by Cummings, under a lot of pressure. Wakeland did very well not to give a free kick away. Running back in that situation, you're not allowed to have any body contact with the player. You've still got to somehow try and put him off taking the mark. There's no use running straight into him, but yeah, good awareness by Chris Lewis. Get it in there quick. Phil Matera running into the space. That's where they want it. Cummings working back to the goal square because he can't lead up the way Wakeland's playing him. And a big man like that, it's a good skill to be able to recover quickly, take possession of the ball and whack it on your left boot. Bangs it through. That's number 3, goal number 3 for Scotty Cummings. So he's still keeping his work rate up. Keep the Eagles with a handy lead.
Aussie Jones off for St Kilda, so the Warapunda match up worrying Tim Watson and Ryan. First possession out of the middle, but Cousins the first meaningful possession. Oh, that's a terrific effort from Williams in the crush there to take the mark. Opposed to Delaney, Matera. The Eagles just starting to move and look dangerous. Cousins out pointing Thompson. He's within range. They lead by 7. And the pressure now on the Saints.
Hard run forward by Cousins after he got the first position out of the centre. Just streamed forward extremely hard. Thompson did the right thing, worked hard with him, but a good kick by Peter Matera, and Cousins didn't let him down.
Interesting to see that Stephen Ziller is still on the bench for the Saints. Got a big kick for Cousins, and he made good contact with it. A beauty. So the Eagles extend their lead.
You have identical statistics by 2 players playing against each other. Cousins with 16 possessions and a couple of goals now. Thompson with 16 possessions and a couple of goals.
Very even. It has been a very good contest, hasn't it? Cousins is a great player. Thompson really knows how to run the space, work hard to keep it in the game. And 16 possessions each and 2 goals. You'd have them both in their best player list at the moment, Robbo. But,
yeah, most definitely, John. So Ziller, having sat the entire match out on the bench so far, Aussie Jones has had a couple of tries. The bounce in the centre, Monkhorst down to Thompson. Thompson kicks the ball. It lands in a disputed position at half forward. McLaren gets away from Wapunda. McLaren's kick is a bit of a motley punt kick towards the goal front. It's belted back wide, gathered there by Wapunda. Fletcher doing reasonably well, kicks into the middle, good mark taken by Philip Matera. Nathan Burke not that far away, but away goes Philip Matera, hits the ground running, kicks and lets himself down. Kicks it straight to the opposition in Begley. Being asked to play on. Quickly onto him was Lewis, but he got his kick away out wide. Marcus taken by McKenna. He's run down from behind by Davis. Well done by the youngster. Turnover could be advantageous for the Saints. Hudson to Nathan Burke. Nathan Burke goes very wide. Extremely wide. Lowe couldn't take it. Jakovic confronted by Hayes. Still Jakovic. Fletcher. Fletcher makes it for himself with a little toe poke, and then with the right kicks it out wide and may set something up for the Eagles. Out there is McKenna. Overruns the ball. Unbelievable stuff by McKenna. But in comes Jones. Jones over the left shoulder. Kicks to half forward. Good mark taken back there for St Kilda by Begley away from Cummings. Handball away and Delaney gathers.
Yeah, had to get out of trouble. And there's just some panic signs for the Saints. The Eagles are really on top now. Turnbull inboard. Got Gehrig. He can pump it long. He's got good position down the ground. Gardner's can push forward and taken the mark. And so the Eagles really on top, John.
Yeah, well, it was a good setup by the West Coast there with Turnbull going into the ruck. Has allowed Gardner to try and push forward a bit. We see there he got forward without being manned up and should finish off with a goal, but it was a well set up play by the West Coast.
Well, we get a look at his angle there. And the Eagles continuing to let St Kilda stay in the game, and we saw what happened in the first quarter when they did that. The Saints were back on level terms by the end of the quarter. Mitchell off and Ziller finally getting a run. The Saints, what else do you think they could do tactically, John?
I think they've got to keep the pressure on the Eagles, but they're just slowing down. They haven't certainly got the ball up deep to Everett as many times as they did in the first half, and that's the key for them to score, is getting the ball in Everett's vicinity.
Well, it'd be interesting to see how many times Everett's touched it in this quarter. It really hasn't gone near him too many times, has it?
No, it hasn't. I mean, and the one time it did go up there, he was in the contest and they scored a goal.
Hasn't had a possession. So the Eagles by 14. We're getting towards the end of the third quarter, about 6.5 minutes to go. It's on their 50. And the Saints really just need to lock it up here and just maybe steal a goal, pinch a goal, and then reassess.
27-point turnaround from half-time.
Ken Judd's not happy with that, though. Monkhurst against Turnbull. He got a couple of knocks out, didn't he, Turnbull? And that sets them up. Williams, can he cap it off? It's coming back. It's a beauty.
Well, Williams has certainly been giving them a good contest up forward. He's one player who didn't spend a lot of time on the ground in the first half and therefore didn't see much of the footy, but he's been given a real good contest up there this quarter, as has Chris Lewis, and that's just helped the Eagles create some more scoring opportunities. To finish off with a goal there, good kick by the young player, and that's what he's got to do. He's not going to get a lot of football out in his zone. He just has to be that real opportunist up forward, create by working hard to lay some tackles, give some shepherds, keep the ball on the ground, and he's worked it pretty well.
Everett now in the ruck, boys.
Yeah, thanks, Dip.
And Burke on the ball too.
Mitchell White and Daniel Metropolis just warming up on the boundary line there a moment ago. Werpunda, importantly, got his right foot to it. It bounces in front of Lenny Hayes, over for a boundary throw-in. The Eagles have kicked the last 5. They've kicked 6-3 to a goal so far in this third term.
He's mopped everything up, hasn't he?
He certainly has. Their defence has been pretty good.
Monkhurst off and Hall back on. Sorry, Robert.
You're right. Cousins to kick the Eagles into attack. Philip Matera's been pretty good. He's been productive by kicking 3, but he's got quite a few possessions down the ground. The kick forward by Jones has been marked by Cummings. 88 plays 68, 20 points the margin. They trailed by 13 at half-time. Cummings has kicked 3. John Coleman medalist from last year.
It's probably one of those situations, Robbo, where he's a good enough kick to have a shot for goal, but very tough from there. So maybe you think if the Eagles open out their forward line in the goal square and let a player fly for a mark, bring it to ground.
The angle and the distance. It's a thumping kick right to the goal line, helped over in the finish by Peter Everett for a rush behind to West Coast. Scott Cummings, 3 goals, 1 against his name, 3 goals to Philip Matera, couple to Ben Cousins and Fraser Gehrig. Andrew Plimpton, the St Kilda chairman, watching on. Interestingly, had some comments last week after the game against Geelong. He was very disappointed and thought that a few of the players were just lobbing, playing the game and not putting enough passion into their football. Well, he'd be probably asking the same questions of the players that are out there at the moment in this third quarter.
They've had a dip tonight, haven't they? But it's just dropped off a little bit in this quarter under some fierce Eagles pressure. Delaney's been fantastic for them.
Good kick.
And his kick, yeah, it was good thinking at the last minute. Good running, Zilla. The build-up good. Who's on the end of it? Tough for them down there. Davis, gee, kept his footing very well.
Oh, goal of the night.
What a kick by Chet Davis. That might just inspire them.
Gee, that was good play by a young player, wasn't it?
Well, it's going to be a pretty good highlight on his tape, because he's had a contest with McKenna playing right on him and Jakovic storming right up to him, and he's beat the both of them. So you'd be pretty happy to hang your hat on those 2 scalps, Robbo. Have a look at this.
Yeah, but he didn't have Worsfold coming from behind, did he?
May have been a bit of a worry for him, but just
he
to say, kept his head, worked hard here, followed the ball up, and great left foot snap.
Aussie Jones back on the wing.
I think we've seen 3 of the best left foot snap goals in at least in the 3 matches we've seen so far. 2 to the Eagles, and that one kicked by Chad Davis was a beauty as well. Drew Banfield gathers and then gives the hand pass to Morrison. He in turn to Fletcher. Fletcher trying to get onto his left, kicks it forward. in the direction of Peter Matera. Rebounds for Jones. That's Aussie Jones, of course. He kicks it out wide where Harvey has made good position. Burke running beautifully, but the bounce is important. The bounce was terrible for Nathan Burke. It's gathered, it's mopped up again by Werpunda. Out wide, he misses his target in Morrison. Free kick against Hudson.
What's Morrison's stats tonight? He's been fantastic off the wing tonight. He's played a loose man across that side, and he's just a lot of possessions tonight.
He's had 16 possessions, Dipper. He has been very good, had a lot of it.
Kicked a goal.
Sets up a lot of play from the centre line here.
He's on centre wing, kicks in towards half forward. Gee, Garrick got on his own a little too easily there for Tim Watson, I would have thought. Kicking towards the half forward line, and Matera marks again quite straightforwardly on his chest.
Yeah, Matera's working extremely hard because he's been played extremely close by Ryan. He's given him no room at all, but Matera just a great player. He still had the 16 possessions and lining up for a shot at goal now. As much as Ryan's tried his heart out, Peter Matera has been on top of him for most of the night.
Been a terrific player for the West Coast Eagles, Peter Matera, over a long period now. High standards that he sets. Normally plays up to those standards. We'll watch from only 3 steps. Not quite enough there, Peter. And off to the left, scores a behind. A couple of behinds to Peter Matera. Leading goal kicker in the game is Peter Everett with 5. 2 to Stuart Lowe, 2 to Andrew Thompson.
Barry Hall and Stuart Lowe up forward at the moment for the Saints. Everett is down the middle of the ground. Kick out okay to Ryan. And the outrider on the wing. Now this opens up. Coming down the ground, Shane Wakeland. There's a lead in the pocket. He goes set. Oh, Everett has pushed forward. And he spoiled Stuart Lowe in a way in the end. He was crashing then into McIntosh. Werpunda. And this is where the Eagles, as they have over the years, have built so many attacks tonight. Jakovic, full steam ahead. Out wide, there's a loose man. It's Cummings. If it gets to him, it didn't bounce well for him. Hudson did well. And it's a pity from a St Kilda point of view at the other end, John, that Everett, who was doing the right thing, pushing back, but he probably ended up spoiling Stuart Lowe's chance.
Yeah, he did. I mean, I think the kick certainly was intended for Everett, who'd worked back there. And he, from the kick in, as soon as it came in and he saw that his teammate got it, Everett broke extremely hard forward and just couldn't quite get the kick onto his chest.
Thompson able to get a right boot to it, but only as far as Philip Matera. And I reiterate, Philip Matera has been good in general plays at 14 possessions. He's kicked 3 goals. Kick in towards the forward pocket region. At the back, Jones gives away a little bit of ground. Back to Lewis. Lewis towards the front of the goals. Williams couldn't take it. Zilla there for St Kilda. Left foot kick back towards the wing. Push out by Peter Matera. That should be 50 metres as well. Just dropped the ball. And that penalty will bring Damien Ryan into his forward half of the ground, and not quite up to the forward 50 area. Kicks in towards the pocket. Push out could have nearly been paid against Werpunda there. Turn ball to Werpunda. Runs away from Delaney. Kicks it out very wide. Lewis. Carr. Now Harvey. Harvey in towards half forward. Poor kick by Robert Harvey standards onto the chest of Philip Reid.
So we're counting down a minute and a half in this quarter, and it's an absolutely crucial minute and a half. Well, for one thing, the Saints can't afford to let the Eagles get a goal. And if St Kilda were to get one, it would give them some momentum.
McIntosh
going in to the last change. McIntosh pushing wide. He just didn't control the mark in the end. Can Davis escape with it? Can he get to his feet? He can. He kept it in. Well played, Chad Davis. And the centering kick was perfect. And Stuart Lowe with a big responsibility here.
To say it's a game of centimetres is amazing, isn't it?
Oh,
I mean, McIntosh was away then, wasn't he?
McIntosh was away. If he had just been able to latch onto it, the ball almost went out of bounds. Davis, you see there, just keeps it in. And he didn't look up for this kick, but he knew he'd just get it in the corridor. When you know you got Stewie Lowe, Everett, big blokes like that floating around, just get it in there as quick as you can. And Everett on the end of it. It's probably one of the few times in this game he's managed to get a little bit of space away from Jakovic.
Well, the clock counts down, only 20 seconds to go. Big kick for Stewart. And unfortunately, from a St Kilda point of view, he's missed it to the left when they dearly needed a goal. But I guess fair to point out that the Eagles have missed plenty of chances tonight, but that one, alas, could be the last one for the Saints in this last few seconds of the third quarter.
Morrison may be looking to play on, the umpire having nothing of that. Now he's allowed to. Gets the hand pass to McIntosh. McIntosh kicks it all the way out towards the wing. Lewis a little tap on for Djakovic, but the siren has sounded. So at three-quarter time, yes, the frustrations are there, Stewie, and the confidence of the Djakovic and the Lewis against Carr indicates that the scoreboard has the West Coast in front. 15 points is the margin. It was 13 points in favour of St Kilda at half-time, so a 28-point turnaround in that third quarter. West Coast Eagles 13-12, 90. Lead St Kilda 12-3, 75.
Well, big last quarter coming up. St Kilda's only chance is if they can keep getting the ball as quickly as possible inside their 50, because they're making the most of those opportunities. The Eagles have just been pumping it forward continuously. If they'd kicked a bit straighter, the game would be all over, but it's not. St Kilda still have a chance. But he'll just cover all the total ground as he does every quarter of every game.
So can the Saints do it, or will the Eagles finish on top? Low, oh, he went into the ruck, and that was a crucial fumble by Mitchell. Matera out wide, Burke right there with Cousins, applying the pressure. Delaney has been fantastic, as we said tonight. Let's see how he goes with his kick. That's the area of the game that does let him down. It was tough for Mitchell. Matera's kick, tough one for Hudson. Back into the pack. Delaney again. Had to consider whether to keep it in or not. Decided to. Thompson. They always had a man on the overlap. Stuart Lowe just hit and hope stuff. Onto the wing, Matera, let it go for Fletcher. Mitchell, can he create something? No, wrapped up by Banfield. Fletcher is impressive, so's Reed. And his kick was good into the space. And Gardner, if he really got onto this, could just about kick it from here. He's got it up and under. Wakeland with Cummings. Couldn't handle it. And they're behind. So 13-13 to 12-3.
Probably just rushed it a little bit there, Gardner. Wanted to get it on quick, but he had Chris Lewis running extremely hard into space, but didn't hold the ball up long enough to allow Lewis to finally find that hole that he was heading towards and kick it to him.
3 or 4 possessions already by St Kilda in the early part of this last quarter, giving no advantage to their teammates. Even that Stuart Lowe kick was very much a sacrificial act needed by the teammate down the ground. Lowe has the ball, and he looks to run on. Now we'll see just exactly what he does here. Short kick is all right on this occasion, and Mitchell got his hands on it and held it beautifully to Harvey. Harvey to the goal square. Big leap. McLaren nearly took it at the second grab. Werpunder over the top. Ball spills for Everett. Still Joey McLaren. Bumped off the ball by McKenna. Trying to force it clear are the Eagles. Eventually Reed. Little toe poke. It was Fletcher actually. Werpunder is still there. Cousins. McLaren tries to tap it to the advantage. It's Harvey. He doesn't get past Morrison on this occasion.
Gee.
Maybe a little fortunate. He did have a prior opportunity to get rid of the ball.
I think no doubt he had taken on one player and got past him, and then got caught by a second player you see there. So I think the umpires have missed that one.
That's a pretty big decision too, really. Saints had done pretty well then to hold it up in 50. Umpire almost getting in the road then. Onto the wing, Lowe will fly and take that. So they've really put down the gauntlet, haven't they, to Stuart Lowe? They've put him in the ruck and said, get involved. Good grab from Thompson now. Still their 2 kicks out from goal. Deep into the pocket. McLaren has to go one-on-one with Werpunder, who's been outstanding for the Eagles. So has Matera. Well, I'm not sure where that handball was meant for. Oh, Thompson rode the bump and was taken over. He said, what about too high? The umpire just looks away. Said, if you don't want to know the score, look away, Tomo. So 13-13, 91 to 12-3, 75. Hall did that well. He bustled clear. Mitchell, can he get clear to have a kick? What about Burke off the left? If ever they needed a captain's goal, or maybe a captain's pass across the face, you'd back Werpunder there, wouldn't you, the way he's been going tonight? Oh, was that in the back? No. All play on. And the Eagles combining so well, and they got it away. St Kilda have missed their chance, and on the rebound, Turnbull's on 50, a little sidestep, and he did well, didn't rush it. Kicked it into Metropolis, who hasn't seen much action tonight. And he can go long towards full forward.
Kicked 3 or 4 goals with his first 3 or 4 kicks in AFL footy, Daniel Metropolis.
He did, yeah. He ended up with 6 for the day. Had a great start to his career and been a very solid player over a long time for the Eagles. He hasn't, you know, amassed a huge amount of games, but he's certainly a worker for them.
So it would take a very big kick for a goal. He got the distance in the end quite comfortably, but behind the result. So nearly 4 minutes gone of actual playing time in this last quarter.
I think St Kilda need to get a goal to get some sort of momentum going, don't they? They've had quite a few opportunities, even though the quarter is only a couple of minutes old. They haven't been able to put a goal on the scoreboard since 3/4 time. Here again, they've had 2 or 3 possessions to get the ball from their full back line. They've got a chance here. Mitchell back onto it. Handball beautiful. Wasn't it gathered well? Jones will kick this. No, he won't. He's hooked it too far. Well, you'd normally mark it down for Aussie Jones, but he really is at probably a difficult stage of his career now. Struggling again in this match, spending a lot of time on the bench. Werpunda kicks it in, short to McIntosh.
They need to break the shackles a bit, St Kilda, don't they?
They do, most definitely.
Look like a team that are Norton 2 and are worried.
McKenna's a chance.
Oh.
Mitchell over the top, but McKenna.
He had to work for that one.
Oh,
but,
didn't he?
Gee, that was a crucial grab, because had he not taken that, it was going to be another opportunity for the Saints to get a goal and get their tails up.
Still a very good player, a guy McKenna, and so is this bloke, Jakovic. Good kick down the line. Banfield providing the running support. Goes into the pocket. And it slews off the side of his boot. If there's one area of Drew Banfield's game, John, it probably is. He's an awkward kicking style, and perhaps that is where he does fall down a little bit.
He's not a natural, beautiful kick. He has worked extremely hard in his kicking throughout his career, but he would have been very disappointed with that result.
Jakovic still inside. That's come off the West Coast Eagles boot, I'd say. Not against you, Glenn. I think it might have been against one of your teammates. 16 points is the margin.
It's a nice
Jakovic, Jakovic had no idea it had actually come off Philip Reed's boot and gone out in the full.
So the Saints a chance here. It'll be Hall doing the heavy work. Harvey, Banfield is just staying so close to him. Burke trying to get a high tackle going there, and he might have got one. I think the academies are next week, Nathan.
Sympathetic free kick, I think.
He might be a bit late for a nomination, but he would feel that he's had a few ones go against him. Jones just lets fly. Mitchell had to be brilliant here, and he wasn't able to do anything. McIntosh and that Eagles defence has been outstanding. Not a great kick, though. Will it sit for Wakelin? He has time to lay the handball off if he wants. He got himself a bit squeezed up. Had to go very wide for everything. That was holding on there. The umpire didn't see it.
Against Carr on Metropolis.
Yeah, he held Metropolis, no doubt about it, but the umpire was quite a distance away and probably was hidden from it. But Everett, what will he do? Will he have a crack, or will he set it up and give Stuart Lowe the chance? He doesn't know what to do. And again, this hesitancy. He set it up to the top of the square. Who's going to fly, though, for St Kilda? Burke stayed down. McIntosh. Reed, he threw it out. It was dangerous stuff. And a behind on the board. Wasn't much there for Everett, was there, in the end, John?
There wasn't anything at all, and you know, in that situation, I think you need to have some sort of set play that players try and clear out of the goal square and at least give one of your big men a fly at it.
Stuart Lowe marks that Werpunda kick. Hand passes to Harvey. Harvey into the pocket. They've made a couple of surges. Matera runs Thompson down. Jones gathers. Gets the hand pass away, but not a lot of precision about that hand pass from Aussie Jones, but wasn't Peter Matera just cat-like?
Yeah, he certainly was, but all those St Kilda possessions were, regardless, Thompson took the mark. He was always pushed deep out on the boundary line. They've got to try and find players now on their own inside the corridor so they can have a good shot at goal.
They just need to manufacture a goal somehow, don't they, St Kilda?
Now, that might be against Burke on this occasion. Just a little ferocious there in his attempt to throw Philip Reid to the ground. He had the ball. What do you see in that, John?
Well, I think he just had a little bit of contact over the shoulder.
Kick is out towards the wing. It's gathered by Harvey. Releases Young. Lovely hand pass. Now, Aussie, you must give this to someone. If you're to win this game, it's Everett. 6 coming up, is it, for the big Spider? Yes, it is! 6 goals straight to Peter Everett to give the Saints just a sniff of a chance. They trail by 9 points with 12.5 minutes left.
Oh, there's no doubt when we were saying the Saints have to just manufacture a goal, just get it in Everett's vicinity, because he's just been so dangerous, whether it's on the ground or in the air. Just a really good awareness of how to gather the ball. Knew where McIntosh was. He knew he had enough space to get it on his left boot, slam it through for goal. And the Saints are still a very good chance in this.
Well, Everett must be a nightmare to play on at the moment. He's in rare form. He's kicked 6. But more importantly, the Saints have got that first one of this last quarter, the most important one. But they've got to stop the Eagles on the counter-attack. And Gary did everything but mark it. And Matera might make them pay. Oh, that was clumsy by Wakeland. No free. Umpire lets it all go on. Delaney under all sorts of pressure. He was outnumbered then. Play on, said the umpire. Quick kick from Jones. Still a chance for an Eagles mark. Well done, Aussie Jones. Well done.
Don't Philip Matera in trouble. He's calling for the trainers.
That's the sort of thing that might turn Aussie Jones's, well, brief season 2000 around. Just doing what he does here.
Oh, that's right. He really had to work hard to get back to that. Phil Matera looks like he's...
He grabbed his knee there, Woosher,
yeah.
and he's had troubles there over the years, and I'll keep you up to date.
Well, Wakeland had to be clean with the possession. Danger time here, but well done, Thompson. And they're out of trouble. And Lowe is really leading from the front. He is really leading from the front. So the Saints have got a bit of momentum here.
They're trying to get the stretcher out. They're trying to stop the game at the moment.
Over Hall's head. Matera's been magnificent. With him is Ryan, close to the line. He's over.
Lowe has had 7 possessions with 4 marks already in this last quarter.
Well, that's interesting, because the stretcher did come out for Phil Matera. The umpires have held it up now, but you can see here his leg ends up straight on the ground after he rolls over, and there it just gets pushed back. So I think they call that a hyperextension of the knee, which pretty sore.
Oh, well done, Harvey. Somehow he got it to Hayes. Can he keep it in? No.
He's saved them time and time again tonight. Wirapunda just reads it so well, comes across when the situation's dangerous and covers for his teammates brilliantly.
There's Philip Matera. Bad luck for the Eagles. He's kicked 3 goals in this match, and they could do with him in the last 11 minutes, I'm sure. 83, plays 92. The Eagles lead by 9. McKenna dispossessed. Banfield, Thompson, now Cousins. Handball, not too bad either. Jones in turn. Well done, Turnbull. Had the awareness to flip it out the back to Cousins. Cousins streaming down the ground, goes for a vacant goal square. It's knocked away. Cummings there. So is Darryl Wakeland. He assesses, then kicks it out in the direction of Aussie Jones. Now, they found a free kick. It may have gone down the ground, was it? Because I don't think it was where Aussie Jones was about to gather the ball. Jones takes it, kicks it to half-back. 8th possession in the quarter, coming up to Stuart Lowe. He's at centre-half back. Saints surging forward. What they don't need now is for the Eagles to go back and get a goal. They've got to force the ball forward and try and at least level the scores. They trail by 9 points. The kick out wide bounces end on end in front of Matthew Young over for a boundary throw in. 13-14, 13-5. Who'd want to be an AFL coach? Stimmerol getting a workout in the coach's box. Tim Watson and Ken Judge on edge. Judgey watching his side defend a 9-point advantage. Tim Watson watching his side trying to come back in this last term. Umpires found a free kick. It's going to the Eagles. It's Metropolis.
This is interesting tackle here, because you see Metropolis will actually try to make the tackle linger by leaning back into the man and hook his arm in there, but the umpire identified that there'd been high contact. A few real touchy ones throughout the night. The umpires have been fairly good with most of them, but these ones are crucial where it leaves a player having a shot at goal. This is a big kick for Daniel Metropolis.
Well, it is in the context of the match, isn't it? They lead by 9. He can break it out to 15. He kicks across the face. Nearly the mark to Gehrig. Umpire has given the all clear for a boundary throw-in.
Just on Philip Matera, boys. He's okay down on the ground down here. They won't know until, obviously, tomorrow. His legs being iced up. The stretcher did come out, so I'm not quite sure if he'll be able to come back on the ground anyway, but I don't think he will.
The ball thrown in. Eagles, a goal would do it, and Banfield was mighty quick, and he put it through.
That's sensational part there. Drew Banfield's last 3 attacks on the footy have been unbelievable. There was one out in the wing where there was a big contest, and he hit the pack that hard, forced the ball forward for the Eagles. He was the one who got it inside their 50, and we see here, he's just around there, hard at the ball. Picked it up under immense pressure, slammed it onto his boot. Got it through, just a lot of pressure on there, and to finish it off with a goal, that's a real lifter for his team and keep them in the game.
Mitchell White, heavily bandaged. He went off earlier in the term with a little cut above his right eye. So the medical staff wrapping him right up. Make sure it doesn't reoccur. Umpire from the centre bounce has decided that well, the football's in there somewhere. Ryan Turnbull, the last player to regain his footing. Umpire Andrew Coates to do it all again. McLaren and Monkhorst warming the bench at the moment for St Kilda. Fletcher run down by Hayes. Cousins in turn. Well done, Lenny Hayes. Goes after it again, so does Cousins. Second effort by Cousins, pretty good. Fletcher dispossessed by Burke. Not bad umpiring there. Burke's little kick. Lands the ball at half forward. A congestion of players, little toe poke again. Ball spills out for Turnbull, tackled by Lowe, swooping on it.
Oh, no.
Umpires found a questionable free kick against Lowe.
Scotty Cummings is off the ground. Mitchell White's gone to full forward.
Didn't look as though there was all that much in that either, but umpire decided on a free kick. And that in turn went very wide and has been taken by Reid. Reid is at left half back. 14-14, 13-5. Margin is 15 points in favour of the Eagles. You can see there, plenty of time left if the Saints can get possession of the ball. Presently with the Eagles.
Onto the wing. Wakeland trying to spoil. Metropolis lost it. Harvey, he is gang tackled. And Fletcher, who is quite impressive, takes it over. Robert Harvey tonight has had 28 possessions. Scotty Cummings on the bench along with Matera, so interesting that Judge would have both his main goal scorers off the ground. Harvey trying to do it on his own, gets it up to 50. Hall needed to give them something, couldn't. This man has been absolutely sensational tonight. And Wirapunda's kick, Gardner's really caused him some headaches since he's gone forward too. Just something extra to think about. Banfield, and he's still running. And Rintoul has also been pretty good, so some of the Eagles' prime movers doing the job.
Yeah, your man Wirapunda, 2 very important possessions in that passage of play.
Sets it up. And mark to Gehrig.
He's looking for 50 metres.
Well, just about. It was punched out of his hands, but he has been a lot better in the second half, Fraser Gehrig. He's worried Hudson more so as he's gone back deep inside the 50. And he could really just about seal the game up. Yeah, well, it certainly will if he puts it through.
That was a 50-metre penalty.
Well, it was. It was punched out of his hands after taking it. I think whether the umpire was more intent on getting in to show where the mark was, may not have actually picked it up.
Now Gehrig, he thinks he's done enough. So the Eagles should win now. Only 7.5 minutes to go. And Saints would need to kick 4 goals.
Well, it's a good night for Gehrig, really. He's had 12 possessions, taken 8 marks and kicked 3 goals too. And you can't ask too much more from a player who roams across the half-forward line, occasionally goes deep, but he also spends some time up on the wing in the midfield. So he's been a good player for the Eagles tonight.
104 plays 83, now a 21-point margin in favour of the West Coast Eagles. St Kilda won't give up though. Nathan Burke, the skipper, kicks the ball to half-forward. Hacked out of there by Jakovic. The ball now in a disputable situation. Through goes Jones. No, the free kick is with St Kilda, and it'll go to their captain, courageous Nathan Burke. He's tried very hard. 15 possessions to Burke. Kicks it in towards full forward. Everett couldn't take it, but McIntosh could from behind.
Clever mark, wasn't it?
It was a clever mark. Yep. Well, he's had a big job, Ashley McIntosh, but he's stuck to his task. This kick, not quite what he was looking for. A bit of an up and under. Lowe couldn't take the mark. Gehrig, Zilla with a tackler, along with Hudson. Still Zilla. Gehrig locks him up, and the umpire will bounce right on the sponsor's logo here at Colonial Stadium. Saturday night football brought to you on the 7 Network right throughout Australia. Tim Watson down to the bench. Ken Judge looking composed, but you just wonder what goes through the minds of the coaches in the dying minutes of a game of football. At this stage, the Eagles have the advantage. The free kick is with Harvey.
Jadalroo, the third quarter, St Kilda, the Eagles dominated and really set up their victory in that quarter.
Free kick to Delaney.
So you would just kick it in his direction tonight, wouldn't you, Robbo? He has been on
It's his picnic night, isn't it, or his birthday?
Get it out towards him and he'll get it tonight.
And he goes for Everett. It doesn't quite make it. Well chopped off McKenna. And that was as close to deliberate as you get.
Jim McKenna was good again, wasn't he? I mean, you go into no man's land in those circumstances, don't you?
Well, yeah, they'll never pay deliberate if they don't pay that.
Now, McIntosh saying that he was actually trying to get it up to McKenna.
Oh, yeah.
Just missed him and it went straight out of bounds.
Yeah, just by accident. Reed, oh, Everett, he can kick another one here, and he does. He's got 7. So, giving the Saints some hope.
But for the second week in a row, with Peter Everett doing the job, 9 goals last week, they were beaten by 40 points. 7 goals so far, 7 goals straight tonight, and they still look as though they may go down.
Yeah, it's a real contrast. Last week he obviously got so much of the ball, 9 goals, 6. Tonight he's only had the 8 kicks, but he's just been so deadly close to goal. And you know, they haven't all been from marks. He's only taken the 3 grabs, but he has just worked hard when the ball's been on the ground. He's kept himself in the vicinity of it, kept dangerous, and has ended up 7 goals. Magnificent effort.
Still not impossible for St Kilda to get up. They've got to kick 3 and keep the Eagles goalless. Nathan Burke puts them in with a chance. One of the Wakelands up on the full forward line. Hayes just got too high.
Yeah, Phil Reed.
It wasn't McKenna, it was the other one, was it, John?
Yeah, Philip Reed, just fairly reckless. He had to get low in and at the hips. Just started with his arms way too high, and that's real bad tackling technique.
Hayes to Everett. Couldn't take the mark, but Thompson will kick the goal. Saints still a chance. Thompson has kicked 3. It is 9 points the margin with 5 minutes left.
It is unbelievable. You think the way the Saints have scrapped and scratched around trying to kick a goal, that the Eagles had it pretty much sewn up and they got that handy break. And then all of a sudden they've been trying so hard to manufacture a goal, as we've called it all night, and 2 quick ones like that in succession, and they're still alive. It's going to be a great finish.
Well, amazingly, all of a sudden, a bit of pressure thrown back on the Eagles. Saints still in with a chance. 21,000 people watching this game at Colonial Stadium. And they're going forward. Lowe's kick was a wobber. Harvey, brilliant. Harvey, brilliant. Can he kick another one and really get them in it? Oh, he's done it.
Oh, that's magnificent.
Virtuoso performance by Robert Harvey.
That was one of the most inspirational passages of play that I've seen in a long, long time. If they're going to win the game, that we speak about turning points. Unbelievable.
That is unbelievable. It's Robbie Harvey. As you said, Robbo, just inspirational. It's one of those passages of play that there's not a huge number of Eagles supporters here tonight, but they would all almost be applauding that, even though it's got St Kilda right back in this game. Passage of play from champion footballers like that. you just stand up and applaud them.
23 and 9 to Harvey, and a magnificent goal.
Well, Colonial really coming alive now. Still 5 minutes to go. It's amazing. The Saints are inspired at the moment. Lowe gets them to centre half forward. Momentum with St Kilda. Oh, they were pushing forward. Hayes, there's Saints everywhere. Davis, the give was great. Hayes, look away handball. Darryl Wakeland, the defender, kick smothered. Nathan Burke to put St Kilda in front. Unbelievable.
Look at this ground.
Unbelievable.
I'll tell you what, if they could have filled it, the roof would have been ripped off this place with St Kilda's surge in the last 6 minutes.
We wrote them off. We wrote them off with about 7.5 minutes to go, and they have kicked 4 goals in about 2.5 or 3 minutes of play.
Oh, it's unbelievable it is. They just haven't looked like being able to get a passage of play where they could kick a few goals in succession, and it's all come very late in this game. Still 4.5 minutes to go, and it's going to be a great 4.5 minutes. St Kilda have got all the momentum, and the Eagles are just going to try and get the ball forward to the centre and stop the Saints' flow on.
Yeah, this centre bounce is crucial, Robbo.
What about Stuart Lowe? These centre bounce has been fantastic.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dipper. He's been inspirational as the equal of Robert Harvey. And he gets another possession and kicks them into their forward 50. There's a free kick to Darryl Wakeland.
I've got to tell you, Robbo, I reckon the last 6 centre bouncers, Stuart Lowe's been in front. He's got the ball down, either kicked it out himself or just passed the ball on. He's just been inspiration this quarter.
Well, Dipper, you'll be happy to know that he's had 11 possessions and taken 5 marks in this quarter. Stuart Lowe, that is. Harvey has had 9 and kicked a goal. Nathan Burke has had 9 and kicked a goal.
Darryl Wakeland's kicked 8 goals in his career.
Well, every St Kilda supporter in this ground and watching on television will be hoping that he kicks his 9th. Right in front. I'll tell you what, he'll be lucky to score a behind. He's kicked a behind. It's amazing, John, you know, when they get to the distance that's just going to stretch them, every player hooks that kick at the finish, don't they, to try and get the extra distance.
So just trying to really get a good grip on the footy as they bang it in long. They generally pull it right across their body.
Well, history has taught us already tonight that there's plenty of time. Just under 4 minutes remaining of actual play. Barry Hall gets in front and takes a great mark.
Every possession's being cheered.
Delaney, been great, sets it up. Can Spider do it here? He stayed down. Hayes is in front. Got to go against McKenna. Go, Lenny, go! Oh, he's got the Rockstar name. It's the Rockstar finish! Lenny Hayes!
Gee, they're happy, aren't they? Look at this.
Oh, the Saints ablaze!
Well, there's only one St Kilda player who's not jumping in that huddle. Up the ground, Maxie Hutchin, a bit too tired to be able to get all the way up there from full back. Now he's come up to greet some of the players on their way back. They have been inspirational in this last 10 minutes.
It was Harvey, though, wasn't it? You know, when Harvey kicked that goal, I mean, they were a chance, but they needed things to happen for them, and Harvey created something when he just kept following the ball, toe-poked it, gathered and kicked the goal.
Robbie Harvey, plus the big Spider Everett one that he got off the ground and snapped it over McIntosh's head.
And then there was the Burke one.
The Spider was the one we were saying they need a goal, they've got to manufacture one, and he got it for them and then set them away.
Now they lead by 10. Still Stuart Lowe again. Got a left foot to it, cleared the centre congestion. Burke running away with the football, handball's wider, chance here for McLaren, usually uses the ball all right, goes for goal, and maybe it's through. It is! Oh, right on the line, McIntosh has got back and carried it over for a behind. Well, if anything was going to bring the house down, that may have been the one. Joey McLaren.
Well, still time, 3 minutes, and we've seen how many goals can be kicked in that time. Stuart Lowe has just had the quarter of a lifetime in this last term. But here's the Eagles. Rintoul to half forward. Mitchell White must get a free. No, said the umpire. Play on, Shane Wakeland. They went at it hard. Young will go towards the boundary line. It was a dribbling kick. Terrific use of the hands. Aussie Jones. Let's see what the kick's like. It's good. Delaney been fantastic. Off the left. Spider Everett. He's got 2 to beat. He couldn't. But that will suck the clock down. They'll get it towards the line. The Saints will be happy. They'll be happy, and it's over and out. And Wakeland playing that like a defender. 2 minutes and 29 seconds to go, John.
I don't know if the Eagles can get back. They just can't get the ball inside their 50 metres. St Kilda have just been so desperate from the midfield forward. Been outstanding to watch.
Well, two players for St Kilda that don't get too many plaudits. Tony Delaney and Lenny Hayes. Now Walton goes for goal. He's just missed. Settle down, Saints supporters. Relax.
Mitchell White in trouble in the back down here. He's limping as well.
What was that, Dipper? Mitchell White in trouble,
now, the doctors are at 2 in at the moment, so keep an eye on him. He's just limping at the moment.
They shouldn't lose it from here, St Kilda.
12 points in front, 2 minutes left. Wapunda with the ball to go straight down the ground. Gets good distance with the kick. No mark taken. Ball spills. Chance here for the Eagles. Banfield through the middle of the ground. Goes directly towards goal. Begley couldn't take the mark, but he goes after it. May concede, no. Oh, yes, a goal. It's a goal came off the boot there of Daniel Metropolis. Well, a bit of good fortune for the Eagles because Gary, in attempting to grab the ball, has kept it alive for Metropolis, just knocked it back, only centimetres, and that badly needed goal for the Eagles has come just when they required it.
Robert Harvey's in a lot of trouble on the far wing. Really limping, looks like it may be an ankle. He's down on his haunches again.
I think they're calling for the stretcher, are they?
The trainers are out there. They look pretty worried about him.
He's trying to stay out there.
Oh, he's tough as anything, Robbie. He won't give in. He knows how much this means to their club.
1 minute and 51 seconds. Plenty of time for the Eagles, who are now charging forward again. Big opportunity. Metropolis, was that a leg? Was that a free? No. White goes in hard. Knocks it out. Turnbull, quick kick. Big chance coming up. It's a goal. Morrison scores level. Oh, this is just unbelievable.
It is unbelievable, Hutto.
I said they shouldn't lose it because they were 2 clear goals in front.
You never give up. I mean, I've seen the ball go from one end of the ground to the other in probably 10 or 12 seconds.
Well, we thought we gave the Eagles, we wrapped them up 10 minutes ago. We said, well, that's it, they've sealed the game. St Kilda come back, we thought they'd sealed it. The Eagles have hung in there, and that's where it's been crucial. Get the ball out of the centre.
It is, isn't it? The centre breaks are so critical these days.
It is unbelievable. And in this last quarter, with Stewie Lowe dominating in those centre bounces, St Kilda just kept getting it forward and scoring. And the last couple of the Eagles have taken away, got goals on the board, and we've got a good minute and a half to go. Plenty of opportunity for our side. They'll be just aiming to score anything.
Well, you can probably see 2 goals kicked in a minute and a half. So we could still have a draw, 1 each. 116 points apiece. All tied up at Colonial Stadium, Saturday night football on 7. 18 goals, 8 St Kilda, 17-14 the Eagles. And what's this larrikin doing?
He's going to miss the best part of the game, Robbo.
Get him off the ground and let's get on with this football. We've seen a terrific game of footy here tonight. Umpire to restart play. Pressure on Lowe. Pressure on Peter Matera. Delaney goes in. Over the top, Reed. Umpire to do it all again.
Well, you would think whoever gets the clearance here is going to be the real chance.
They know that. Have a look at them all around the ball.
Lowe, who gets them to centre half forward. Which way will it go? The Eagles defence standing strong. It's inside 50. Was that a high tackle? No, it's like rugby league this. 55 seconds on the clock.
Look at Nathan Burke, the little general. He's just got them all organised. Get around the ball, he says. Get around it. Don't let him get it out.
Everett's in the goal square. Lowe knocks it out. Matera will clear it. Matera will clear it. It's Mitchell White, but Wakeland, Shane Wakeland, inspirational. Can he get the handball off? He goes to kick. He tried to kick it, he just needed to get a score. Can Everett keep it in? He can. It's all Eagles. A tackle. Play on. They'll go for the boundary line. And 23 seconds. 21 and the clock stops.
First draw of the year.
Well, they just need to score.
Sensational by both sides. Everett trying to keep the ball alive. The Eagles trying to get it out of bounds.
Low, it's back to the boundary. It's say. No, I won't say anything. I won't say anything.
There's only one team. I think St Kilda might have enough time to score from this position.
15 seconds and counting. Can Stuart Lowe do it? You wouldn't think so now. 10 seconds, 9, 8 seconds, maybe the Eagles. Banfield, he's dragged down, well tackled, play on, it'll be a draw, the first one of the year. Wow, what can you say?
Just listen to the big letdown with the crowd. Obviously the big St Kilda crowd here tonight expecting and hoping for an unbelievable, miraculous win, but it's ended up with a no result, drawn game, and it just leaves everyone just with that empty feeling. No win, no loss. No win, no loss.
Well, the Saints, I think, could be pretty proud, considering where they were in that last quarter.
Well, I think it's in a situation like that, you're better off coming away with 2 than losing the match by a little bit of, well, misfortune. I know it leaves you with an empty feeling, but, I mean, the Eagles were confronted with defeat when St Kilda kicked away to about, I think they needed a couple of goals and they got them through Morrison and Metropolis. But earlier than that, St Kilda were looking down the barrel of a defeat.
Robbo, we've got Andrew Thomas
result
down here, mate. Andrew, what's the feeling? I mean, you got yourself back in the game, but, you know, no score there.
Oh, it's just very empty.